1, 3, 2, 1, and we're live! Welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name is Harlan Guthrie. I'm here with my very sexy friend Chris, who's eating something.
A cookie. A salvation cookie.
A starvation cookie? That seems like a counterproductive treat.
A salvation cookie.
Oh, a salvation cookie, the ones that make you salivate. And my equally attractive friend Justin.
Hey.
He's not eating a cookie, but he looks like one. And my more than attractive friend Michael with his daughter. Wave to the camera.
This is Kiara.
And we're here today to play The End of the World Zombie RPG, voted by you as a game that you wanted to see us play again. So today, for those who do not know, is International TableTop Day, so make sure you get out there and play something really fun, or relatively fun. It doesn't have to be really fun. Obviously, if you've seen us before, you know how we work. You can live tweet us along at Invictus Stream. You can comment on the video because we're always monitoring that. You can watch alongside us at with the YouTube Live feature, although I still don't know how to enable the comments, so good luck with that. And other than that, I think I'm going to be doing the same type of thing that Justin does with our Dragon Age campaign and award a little bit of experience points every once in a while. There might be an opportunity today to dictate some of these guys' actions if something should go wrong in the world of zombies. But other than that, we don't have too much to go over before the game starts. I'm going to briefly touch on the dice systems, but because you might not have seen how this game works before, Justin, why don't you recap what a game like this typically entails, such as last time's game?
Sure. Okay. So essentially, this game is set in a zombie apocalyptic world. This world, because we play ourselves. Each of the characters or the people here, Chris, Michael, myself, we all play ourselves, and we have character sheets that are written up basically to.
So in other words, I'm overpowered, so it's really not fair. But you know, one of the downfalls.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't really work like that. There is a balancing system.
And if anyone is overpowered, let's be honest, I'd say it's Michael. He's got the skills and the looks that work for him.
Well, actually, I haven't seen Michael's sheet. I don't know. What are your features, Michael?
Oh, he's muted himself.
Mike's mic is mic'd.
My apologies. Under dexterity, under my physical traits, I've got explosive blow, which is a gaseous-related movement. It's like a turbo boost.
It basically speeds you up in the direction of
burritos.
Cool.
And I know last time we ran up his character, he had bad knees, but because your knee doesn't feel so bad, I took it off for you as a gracious little GM feature for you. In fact, I have a sheet right here that I can quickly share it so you can all see, because I know everyone has seen Chris's and Justin's in the past. And Chris's and Justin's is the exact same as they've always been. We can see Mike here has some martial arts training, which if you don't know Mike, he actually does have, so he's not just boasting about this. He has some migraines, which might come into effect depending on how stressful a situation comes at. I took off the fact that your migraines were under sleep and you had to, and if you don't eat, because I figured just general migraines are more important. We have you being pragmatic, but you lack self-discipline. And you're open-minded and accepting. However, you lack a filter, which I would say you might lack a filter in the traditional sense. But when it comes to this group of people, you're probably one of the most hold-back-ish.
That is a fair statement. That really is a fair statement.
In regular company, you might lack a filter, but here you're probably one of the most level-headed.
Well, that's one thing that I really like about this game is that it's you've got the good feature for each category, physical, mental, social. You've got a good feature, and then you've got a bad feature, and that's pretty much it. Like, you can make more if you want to give yourself more points in other areas, but I like how just quick and simple it is, for me at least. I like the nice.
No, absolutely, and you're 100% right. And so last game I think was what happened? Oh, it was in a prison. So why don't you tell us about what happened last time and how you guys failed at saving all the people?
Oh, well, it was Chris and I, and yeah, we were in a prison. We were doing one of those escape it things where you're locked in a cell and you have to solve puzzles to escape. And the dude we decided to join with was kind of a space cadet. He was kind of like, and he kept on zoning out. And
That's a clever name, Space Cadet.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that? Did you write that down beforehand? Say if he talks about, I'm going to do Space Cadet.
I don't know where I heard that before. It's a reference though. I didn't come up with that.
I still dig it, and I'm going to credit it to you.
Well, thank you. I will take that credit falsely. Yeah. So he ended up turning into a zombie-esque creature. It wasn't exactly zombies, but he did start biting people, and his blood was black, and his skin was eaten away, and then black pus started to come out of his eyeballs and stuff. And we cut off his arm somehow. His arm just fell off or something. And
it didn't just fall off. We tore it off in the bars of the cell, didn't we?
Yeah, we I guess so. Yeah, we closed the cell door, and his arm fell off, and there was this weird like tentacle thing growing out of it. And so, anyways, we thought we had to escape the prison, and then a few more people started turning into these weird monsters, and eventually we decided, yeah, we're gonna try to get away, and we left everybody in the
in the most heroic way possible, left everybody behind.
We left the group. We left all of the innocent people with 3 monsters inside, and
we got away.
They got locked in, but we got away. So in a game like this, I mean, that's really what matters. It's self-preservation. You know what? Like, if they didn't have the self-preservation, Darwinism, right? They just weren't meant to survive.
Survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
If that's the case, though, we probably should have saved at least one female, because it was the end of the world, and now there's just me and Justin.
Actually, you did save a young girl.
We saved a young girl.
Not that the repopulation thing should be coming on the coattails of that thought, but you did end up saving a young girl, so that
a few years.
So you're not completely selfish. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, so that's basically what happened last game. And again, I'm going to touch really briefly on the rules for anyone who hasn't played this game before. It is a very simple pickup game, and it is a fantastic game. As Michael pointed out in our previous, in our last Dragon Age campaign, it's a fantastic game for people who are new into role-playing games, because you don't have to think that much about what kind of character you want to play, because you're basically just playing yourself. Although it can make you feel vastly inferior to your friends, depending on what your features might be. Because I know for me, when I was rolling up a character, we got like, Mike here's got like martial arts training, and he knows how to flip a guy over if ever needs be. Chris does the same. Justin is just, well, look at him, he's a pinnacle of sexuality and handsomeness. Mm-hmm. And I think my best physical trait was like, I might be good at using a gun, because I play a lot of online video games. So.
Well, you have a Wii.
I do have a Wii. Are we talking about my Wii, or like the system that I play?
I mean, both.
See, that's where I thought you were going to say that we feel, inferior to our others.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Sorry. So physical traits has a very large penis. Harlan. Perfect. I feel so much better now. So if it does come to repopulation of the world, then I can always just use that as one of my physical traits. Although I'll have to roll for it. So. Very dependent on rules. Anyway, but it is a great game for people who are new to the role-playing system, because it is a great. You don't have to put too much into the thought of your character. That being said, the game we're playing today is another one of those scenarios. The first one we ever played was a meteor hit Earth and kind of possessed or brought back the dead to the undead. Second one was typical George A. Romero, and the last one we played was kind of The Thing, creature from space, under your skin, and you don't know who's who. So if you're familiar with zombie archetypes, then you might have an idea of what kind of zombie is going to be in this game. And I'll give you this much for the viewers and the guys playing. You are going to have a tough time with today's zombies. They are by far, in my opinion, the most difficult zombie type.
Oh no! 28 days later, zombies.
Shh.
Oh no!
Out for the vomiting ones too. Those are the best.
Well, then It's specifically a fantastic treat because, yeah, well, you'll see. That being said, before we go into it, I want to do a little bit of a disclaimer because today is tabletop International Tabletop Day, so hopefully we're going to get people watching from all over the world and maybe just stumbling across this because we've obviously ridden on the coattails of that. This game is mature. I do not mark this channel 18A. We don't. We collectively decided because you have to log into Google to watch it, and it's kind of frustrating. I think it's an unfair wall to get behind. And I think, 18 is just kind of an arbitrary age to pick that someone is old enough. So realistically, if you feel like you're mature and you're younger, you should be able to watch these games. That being said, today is going to be very mature. In fact, the setting of today's game is along the lines of it could remind you of certain actual real-life disasters of sorts. So, because of that, if you're sensitive to anything and if you kind of start seeing where this is going, feel free to log off, leave us a comment, say you're horrible people, I hope you rot in hell for even doing anything similar to this. But just wanted to give that warning up front and pretty clear that if you're sensitive to stuff like this, there's going to be death, there's going to be destruction, there's going to be people that you love dying. That's unfortunately with this game. And I would say one of the things with this game is it often involves people that are around you having to die because that's who you play with. So, quickly I want to shout out to Jesper, who is a loyal fan, as well as Jason. And we also want to say hello to Jason's wife, Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Justin, I think she wanted you specifically to say hello.
Hello, Tracy. Thank you very much for watching all the Dragon Age games.
I don't think that's actually true that she wanted you to say it, but I think you should say it, being the the most handsome of us. And appreciate obviously Jason for watching as well, and her for watching with him. And that goes on behalf of all of us. Thank you. So, how to play the game? Really quickly, this game uses a series of D6s, and I'm going to pull those up. And basically, I tell the guys to assemble a positive dice pool and a negative dice pool, and then you cancel them out. For example, Mike, I'm going to screen share you right now. Let's say I told you to roll 2 positive die, and you are muted just in case you want to say anything. Clever. I know this guy is an Oscar Wilde wit. Perfect. And then I would say, okay, Mike, so the difficulty of this task is going to be 2, so then he would roll, again, 2 negative die. There we go. So basically the way the system works is that the 2 first positive die are going to try to cancel out the second 2 negative die. So in his example, he rolled a 1 and a 2. Well, I can't really do it, but he rolled a 1 and a 2, and then a 3 and a 5, I believe. So the 1 and the 2, because they were under his target skill, and as we saw Mike's sheet, pretty much all of them are under 3 except for 1. So most likely those 2 would succeed, meaning he has 2 successes. However, because the other 2 did not cancel out those first 2 die, they would be drawbacks, and because of that, he would most likely suffer a stress, which would then kind of fill out his character sheet and so on and so forth. That's a very rough explanation. We played the game 2 times before, so if you don't know how to play it, just watch those because we go into it more depth, and frankly, we want to get into the game. So, does anyone else have anything last minute to say before we jump into the game?
I am scared.
You should be scared.
I feel I'm going to die.
Mike, anything you want to say? A goodbye, maybe?
I would just like to take this moment to let my lovely daughter know that I love her, but I'm glad I can run faster.
Well, if that's not fatherly advice, I don't know what is. That's the rule of the game, man. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the slowest guy. Chris?
I've been eating nothing but raw onions in hopes that my flesh will be soured. Just a little strategy. This is a strategy game, I think, and since it's based on real life, I've been, character developing a little bit. So just nothing but raw onions.
Good.
Good. Fair enough. Okay, well, then, it's funny that you mentioned that because I do want to preface this little intro with a little bit of character development into the real-life minds of Chris, Justin, and Michael. These guys are relatively competitive, I would say, when it comes to physical, attribute, strength, and things like this. And you guys can deny it all you want. But these guys like to, they do P90X, they do martial arts and things like that. And the setting of this kind of falls into that realm of things. So, here we go. Your competitive nature has finally gotten the better of you three. Countless tests of might and dexterity have accumulated into a marathon. The three of you, at separate times, have decided to do some running and finished your required marathons to be able to enter the Boston Marathon. You've decided amongst the three of you that whichever of you decide to, or that finish before the other two, would be officially the fastest. And you'd have to yield to that person whenever it came to any future tests of physical strength and things of this nature.
I'm the fastest, so I get the last cookie.
There you go, see?
Good thing about marathons, it's about endurance, not speed.
Well, we're going to find out what it is really about. But that's exactly... See, you can already see the real life...
No,
So-
Chris, it is about speed, because whoever is fastest and has the most endurance gets to the end first.
No, it's about how many chin-ups you can do, so I'm good.
And unlike most marathons, this one's going to be a contact sport.
So wait, so is it just the three of us? Is it just the three of us in this marathon, or are we doing like the Toronto Marathon or something?
No, you're actually participating in the Boston Marathon.
Oh, Boston.
Yes, so, and as luck would have it, it actually, and this is in real life, it is on the 20th. It is in 9 days. April 20th is when the marathon starts, which I just thought was perfect timing for running this game. So, Boston is holding its annual marathon next week, and it's just a short drive, about 8 hours, and the three of you decide, hell, we'll get a hotel room the night before. We've been practicing, relatively. We're going to enter it, and we're going to see who can beat who for the final reigning championship of which one of you is better. So, the early morning drive down to Boston is enjoyable. The three of you, top down, April breeze in your hair, you're putting on the Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, which is obviously the track that everyone needs to listen to when they're preparing for a marathon. And you arrive on the 19th, the day before, check into your hotel, and the three of you decide to have an early night, because obviously the next day you're running a frickin' marathon. So, the morning of the 20th. You wake up bright and early, greet the early rising of the sun, and each donning your running garb, head down to the check-in place, and leaving your phones and keys and all that kind of stuff in the safe of the hotel room. Everything except for the hotel room key. Would this be correct, I would assume?
Yes. Wind resistance. I don't want any wind resistance. I've taped my nipples for chafing.
Okay, and you know what?
Duct tape. If we need this much duct tape, because that's how big I taped.
Because that's how big your nipples are. You mean?
Well, yeah, for each side. So we have two pieces this big.
Yeah.
And they've been drooping a little over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Too real. Too close to home, Mike.
So,
no, but that's important. So I want to know. Okay, which of you have taped your nipples? This is important stuff, guys.
Well, if I see Chris taping his nipples, I'll probably tape mine too.
Okay, let me write that down. Tape nipples. Mike? You're
Absolutely.
muted.
Absolutely. Okay. And as I said, I would shave and wax because there's no wind resistance here.
Okay, so this guys, this is important shit.
This is the role play right here. This is the stuff.
Well,
getting into it.
I've got one of those, like, I guess, bandoliers or belts of, like, water bottles. Little water.
Okay. So you'd be slower because of it. Got it.
I can't afford that, so I'm just going on. I've just been hydrating quite a bit before.
Okay. Perfect. And eating onions.
Well, like I said, lots of onions. Yeah.
Oh, you had spaghetti
high
last
sugar
night,
level.
right?
A very high sugar level. Got it.
Yes. Yes. Even though I feel like that's good. That's what they say, right? You don't carb load for marathons. You eat onions.
Yeah. Right? You eat nothing but onions, and you eat sugar so that your sweat just drenches the people behind you and smells like shit. Perfect. Okay, so you guys make the 20-minute bus ride from your hotel, which is between, I would say it's between Hopkinton, which is where the race actually starts, and the city of Boston. And the whole race is completed in about 3 hours. Fastest time ever is 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, I was waiting for Chris to say, okay, then that's the time to beat.
No, I'll be looking at finishing in about 6.
Okay, and you arrive. So you get there, and the air is kind of filled with this, nervous kind of tension, but a little bit of excitement. And the three of you kind of starting getting into that competitive mode where you're sharing glances, like, "Yo, what is he doing? How's he getting?"
So, can I screen share the map?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So, Boston Marathon. I just looked up the map for 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can get it back. There we go. Okay. So, this is the Boston Marathon.
Yep.
Start Boston is here, all the way to the east.
Yep. That's the finish.
That's the finish, yeah. So we're starting down here in
Oh, we're doing one of those 40K marathons.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of those short marathons.
Well, we could be doing like a half marathon.
You could be. You could just start halfway through. It'd be ultimately your decision, whatever you guys want to do. If you want to cheap this out.
Okay, so what do we count as endurance? Are we doing dexterity or vitality?
I don't even know what those mean. What do you mean dexterity? Hey, I don't know. This isn't some sort of role-playing game. This is real life.
I feel like it would be vitality as well.
I feel like it would be
willpower.
vitality too. Because my thing is, if I were doing a marathon, I'd probably have trained a little bit.
I'm going to give you guys a peek into the future. I will not be rolling for marathon stamina because I would have assumed the same. I'm not going to make you guys have to use your real life endurance at this stage because, yes, you would be more prepped.
Okay, cool. All right.
So you don't have to worry about that.
All right. So in a year, we have actually managed to train for a full marathon.
Yeah, you have.
And we're starting down here at Hopkinton.
Oh, yeah.
So there's is there going to be like a big ceremony where everybody like?
Well, actually, the way they do it is they release it in waves, and because you guys you've never competed before, you don't really have any, marathon per se experience. You have done a marathon before this because you have to enter, but you guys are in the 4th wave, so you're essentially in the last wave, and it leaves about 11:30. So for the first little bit, you guys are hanging around at the starting line. Do you want to talk to people? Do you want to just hang out yourselves, be kind of antisocial?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, in situations like that, I'm very antisocial. I really am. I would talk with Chris and Justin, and I would probably be just doing a lot of stretching and just keeping the body moving and getting ready to go.
What's the weather like?
It is a beautiful day right now. The forecast did call for rain later on, but right now it's a crisp, cool day. Typical. I haven't been outside today, so we'll say yesterday, where it's kind of warmer in the afternoon, maybe up to 10. That's okay. Canadian 10.
Yeah.
Not American 10, which would be much different. So
they are giving us like maps, I'm guessing. Same map I was just looking at.
All the crowd, Justin.
Yeah, you would know. It's all cordoned off. It's well documented, like which direction you're going. So, okay. So you guys kind of hang around. You feel in the air. You see some people throwing up because they're nervous. You see some people just getting excited. And 11:30 comes around, or 11:20, and you're all kind of standing. This big mass of people, the 4th wave.
Yeah.
It's all standing behind the starting line, and you hear the bang of your group, and you guys start off. And how would you each start off? I'm going to assume, Chris, you're running full speed. And...
No, I'm going to draft behind Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it pretty easy. I won't be drafting.
That is actually my plan, was to draft behind you two.
So you continually move behind the other one. So you just continue drafting behind each other.
Backwards, trying to get behind each other all the time.
Perfect. Just keep going back.
This sounds like a Three Stooges skit.
I would know my pace. I would look down at my heart rate monitor. I would get into my good zone, and I would stick to that.
You mean the danger zone?
The danger zone. That is my good zone.
Mm-hmm.
Are you wearing earbuds, or are you running with just the wind?
I like to hear my competitors cry, so I have no earbuds in.
I find listening to music gets my rhythm off when I run, so I'm just doing it. No earbuds.
And Mike?
I too would just be enjoying the sensation of the cool breeze.
So no music
Hello,
boost for any of you.
onions.
Fine. No, negative to music boost.
I took steroids though. Does that help?
Definitely, yeah, for sure. Your penis shrivels. Your penis shrinks.
Lots of acne.
And just pops off.
And you're running extremely angry.
You should have taped that too.
Okay, so you guys start out. Some people are kind of just brisk walking. Some people are kind of jogging along with your pace, and some people just bolt off in front of you. Clearly, they don't understand that it's it's an endurance. And after a fair bit of time, the three of you kind of end up separating and kind of losing sight of where you're at. So, time passes, and at a reasonable pace, the three of you pass Newton, which is, if you're pulling up the map, I think it's relatively close. It's about the 30 kilometers. So it's been about 2 hours.
Oh,
and
wow.
You guys are, you guys are, you've been prepping for this. You guys, you know your shit. Mind you haven't seen each other in a bit.
In yet? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling good, or how am I feeling about it?
Oh, all three of you are feeling pretty sore. Mike, I love you, but you're definitely feeling the most sore. Currently, right now, you're kind of sussing out where you guys are at. And for a long time, Chris was in the lead with Justin close second. Mike, you were kind of trailing behind.
I imagine that's where I will be staying.
Yeah, and Justin, it seems that you've passed Chris. But currently Justin's in the lead.
Oh.
For now.
I look for a Kenyan, and then I try to mimic them.
All the Kenyans are already at the finish line, Chris.
Actually, no, what's funny? A Kenyan was the guy who had the best time. I was looking it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and again, you at this point, you're passing, and you're at the last leg of the race, realistically. And, you reference the silent deal you made to yourself about being first, and you each kind of pick up the pace a little bit. And, again, you're each aware of each other's positions. Yes, see, Mike's got it. He's actually running on the spot. He's got it. He's in the mode. He's role-playing this.
I'm running, but you can't see me.
Oh, okay, so now you're falling back.
Oh,
Well, you're real life not running.
how about now?
He's
There
too
you
fast.
go. So, as the buildings of downtown Boston start to dot the horizon, you each notice that some of the stragglers that were, with you guys at the starting race are starting to just whiz by you. And you're each kind of looking around, and then they have this new sense of speed with them. Some of them running past you with almost frightened looks on their faces, and you think, God, 2 hours into this thing, and people at the end are picking it up. At first, you kind of think, well, maybe there's like a hidden trick to this that I should have been slow away at the beginning and picked it up way too early, but it doesn't seem like that. And Justin, you being in first place, you kind of start getting concerned at the amount of people who are passing you as Chris catches up to you, and he's now kind of side by side. And Chris, you start to notice the same thing, that people are really kind of running past you. And a ways back, then you start hearing a few screams.
Oh.
Okay, so let's
So
slow
I
down
use
a
the
bit.
boost of adrenaline, and I pull ahead. No. I would turn to look, for sure.
Okay.
I would turn to look over my shoulder at least to see what they're running from.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. So you guys kind of turn around, you're continuing jogging, and you see that there are, again, kind of the spread out groups of people that were just kind of dotting have now almost piled up, and there's like a wave of people coming up, all with panicked looks on their faces. And Mike, you've actually been kind of picked up in this wave, and you're running as these people are starting to surround you, and naturally you're kind of picking up your pace with them, and you arrive right behind Justin and Chris. And Justin and Chris, you see Mike kind of run up right in between you with a puzzled look on his face. And the three of you are now kind of keeping a pace towards the city.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, to talk about the elephant in the room, we're probably thinking something horrible is going on, as past history has shown.
Mm-hmm.
So right away, in my opinion, the race is over. So let's say to Justin, okay, let's get some shelter. Let's get out of here. And Mike, obviously, now he's here.
Okay. Well, I
Thanks
guess.
for that.
Well, there's a lot of people
And
around.
Mike.
Justin stands out. You know.
Oh yeah, that was my uncle.
Yeah.
that guy looks like my uncle.
He looks familiar. What was that?
Okay, what? You just want to stop?
Well, I don't want to get trampled. I'm too tired to keep up with the rest of the crowd.
I absolutely do stop because I would be
Alright.
stopping, walking,
Yeah, let's move over
and
to the
actually
side.
getting off road,
Yeah.
off trail, and
Yeah.
trying to take a look around the crowd to see what's going on because it's just a race.
I told Justin, climb up on that car. You'll be able to see better than anyone.
I'm on a car.
There's just a car sitting there. Like, what are the crowds doing? Like, usually there's a crowd on the side of the road, or is there?
Well, because you're still just a bit from the end. It's just dotted people, and they're just staying there as you pass by them. Again, it seems like the people that are running from something are again near the back, and the people at the sides right now would not be privy to what might be coming, if anything.
Is there anywhere to get a higher vantage point, like climbing like a short, like even just halfway up on a fence or?
Yeah,
like
for sure. I mean, you're basically.
Something.
Oh yeah, you're basically coming into the downtown district of Boston. So as you're passing, there are high-rise buildings and stuff that are dotting you as the city begins to kind of loom over you. So realistically, anything could work.
Some of our viewers are pretty dark. Jesper wants us to just purge the stragglers.
Purging the stragglers?
Yeah.
All right, so I will stand behind Chris with a match.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, so we're just coming into downtown Boston then, eh?
Yes.
So we got most
and the
of
screams are
buildings
starting to
around us.
pick up.
Yeah.
And more people are running past you.
Yay!
All
Boston
right.
News favorite
Yeah, so
tweet.
I'll stand up and I'll look the street towards where people are running. See if I can see something
Towards where people are running?
from.
Okay.
Justin,
So
I called it Justin's like, where are you going? That's not a good idea.
What? I just wanted to see what's happening back there.
What if there is something happening back there? What are you
Then
going to
we'll
do?
know what it is.
Get up on this car. We'll be able to see you from a safe place. Don't run towards it.
Oh
Like,
no! That's what I was trying to do.
yeah.
Okay.
He's just
Yeah.
getting a vantage point. Okay, so you jump up on top of a car.
See, I wouldn't. I'd be going on a wall or something because at this point I'm still like, this is someone's property.
I'm not, but I would highly doubt that you would be so comfortable as to. And there are other options.
That's what I'm saying. I would
There's other options.
do a wall or a garbage bin or something.
Yeah.
See, I think I'm picturing different. I'm picturing like hordes of people running where you have the possibility of being trampled right now. But is that not the case?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people, but they're
Like
still
pushing, like shoving, where it's like hard to
No.
move anywhere. That's what
no. They're not so much so that it would be dangerous. It just seems like an abnormal amount of people that are extremely frightened.
Yeah,
I
so you
feel
don't want to bring any dangerous situations into the zombie apocalypse.
What zombie? What are you talking about? This is just a marathon RPG. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so I find something at the side of the road, like a
Yeah, I'm thinking a mailbox.
dumpster or
Roll
something.
for
Like a mailbox, or one of those things that you grab like newspapers from or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a newspaper, but the ones that have the house advertisers and shit like that.
Yep, I would jump up on one of those.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so you hop up on those, you and Mike and Justin, and Chris just catching your breath because you're just about to give in, and you are so happy that this happened because you would have lost.
I had this. It's good.
And so you guys look and you see these people, the sea of people kind of running towards you, frightened, and near the back screams. And even a few dotted people that are running through the crowd are just kind of like twitching almost, smacking their own head as they kind of cut through the thing. Some of them stopping altogether and kind of just bouncing up and down a little bit.
Running from bees.
From bees, yeah. So one of the runners, who's kind of smacking his head and stops, and this is maybe just 100 feet from you down the road, just freaks out and turns behind and grabs a person and just takes a bite out of them.
Shit.
And that person just screams and falls over, and blood kind of splashes on the pavement. And runners around them just start screaming and freaking out as they continue and pick up the pace, darting off the path into the side streets, into the buildings and things like that.
Yeah,
And
we
that
should
can
get
pass.
out of here. We should get out of here.
Okay, so as you're climbing down, your eyes are fixed on the scene, and seconds after the woman who hit the pavement, who was bitten, she jumps back up and starts smacking her own head and runs to another person. Seconds later.
Okay.
Because I was like sort of going down towards them, and now I'm like seeing this. I'm like, no.
And they're just screaming, and the actual people who were bit are now biting others, and the people who were first bitten are just screaming this guttural scream, this as they're continuing to just run around like wild animals.
I tell these guys, we need to get off the streets here.
Yeah, I'd say let's get to an alley. Maybe we can find a fire escape we can climb.
I was thinking we get into a building and look for, the fire break where you got the axe and you...
At least pull the alarm to get the firefighters here.
Yep.
Okay, so the building directly behind you is an apartment building. You can see just a little down the street. It would be a bit of a jog. This is where there are more people dotting the landscape, a busier kind of area. It looks, you can see a church. You can see a few other buildings. It looks more populated.
Okay. Let's
do a quick group. What do we want to do?
Let's get inside a building.
Just the closest one? See what we can work with?
I think so. We don't want to break any doors down, but because if we break a door down, then it'll be broken. Okay, but yeah, we're running away from it as we're discussing this.
Okay, so you're going to start running towards the more populated area then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you approach this, people are kind of... people...
Would we be?
Sorry?
I stop us and I say, wait, is this the best direction? Should we be running trying to get out from the city limits?
Well, right now you're kind of in
the middle.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is I wouldn't be going towards the people. I would say we need to dodge off away from people, see if there's any one that needs help or anything like that.
We've got Boston to the east, like the big city proper. We've got the monsters to the west. Why don't we try north towards Canada?
We're gonna make it
running towards Canada.
Hey, you know what?
Okay,
that will help.
So as you're deciding this, I'm gonna say that you are continuing running because you're nervous and you're afraid.
Yeah.
So
looking over our shoulder and also looking to see what can we use, even just a broomstick, anything that's.
Of course, yeah. So with this game. As anything, if you can justify finding a relative piece of something that you want to attack with, I will let it. If it seems unlikely, we'll roll for it. But is there something specific you want to find, or?
Well, first we'd start looking for a police officer or something to say, hey, there's people actually physically attacking people here.
Yeah. So as you see this group that's kind of near, you're very close to them now. There are police officers in that crowd. You see one at first. Yep. People are kind of walking around holding beers, but they're not stupid either. They hear the commotion. A few people have walked out onto the marathon track and kind of looked to the back, and a few people have clued in, and they're kind of like, get the fuck out of here, let's go. Mm-hmm. Some of them running into buildings and things like that. And you're kind of not casually, you're running and deciding what you're doing as you kind of approach this epicenter of where the people have been meeting and things like that. And there's a church, a bar, there's kind of a what looks like a flea market, like a large empty building that you would assume has fruits and stuff out front.
I think those are the things that we go is talk to the police officer.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So he's actually speaking to a woman. Yeah. And so he's kind of telling her, and she's freaking out on him. She's like, I just saw some guy get bit. And she's wearing a runner jersey as well, and there's blood splattered on her.
Oh, okay.
And he's explaining, he's like, okay, get inside. And he turns to you, and he says, what?
More of the same, officer. There's people physically attacking other people. You might need...
He says, get into one of the buildings. Get into one of the buildings.
I suggest you call for backup, sir.
And he's like, they're on their way. And he goes back to it. He's like, how long on the backup? And you can hear his radio, and there are voices talking over voices saying a lot of the same. Officer down on 5th Street, something like that. Oh, we're firing shots. We're hearing shots fired into a crowd. There are people freaking out here. They're attacking the building. Just you can't quite make sense of all of it, but you can hear that there are just talks of the same type of thing.
At this point, would be talking to you guys do you want to go somewhere really rooftop wise and just try to get a
fire
I don't
escape.
think we'd be thinking hey, we need supplies and stuff. We'd be like, what the hell's going on here? Let's
let's try to find a fire escape like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what we You agree, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. Let's maybe stay away from an apartment building because it's likely that we won't be able to get in.
Yeah,
No, but that
exactly.
we'd go outside up fire escape.
I don't think, at least when you're walking by these, a lot of the fire escapes don't look like they can be accessed from the outside roof, or like the outside alleyway, because that would be pretty unsafe if you could just like climb up to the roof of a building.
Well, you'd have to jump. And
Yeah,
I think the best thing is to go in the building and use the elevator.
Yep.
Now, a lot of these buildings, the flea market is about a one-story, and now this is kind of the buildings that you see around you. And of these 3 buildings, there are probably about 8 total. This encompasses apartment buildings. This encompasses maybe small one-story houses that are just kind of, you know, older. The flea market,
one-story house for the supermarket thing, we could get on top of.
Yeah, for sure.
Without too much trouble.
However, what you are looking at is the bar, the church, and the flea market do seem to have less exposed fronts. The house, while it is a nice house, and I'm giving you a little bit of metadata to describe the scene. I'm imposing a little bit of what you guys would probably be looking for.
Let's go to Winchester.
Have a pint. No, but realistically, in this situation, you would be looking for something probably the safest, and of the options, those do seem like they are the most secure in the front aspect. That's all I'm going to say in regards to what it is.
What do you guys think?
Is it an old church?
Maybe 80s.
80s?
See, I would think church because they're pretty well fortified, really.
Yeah. A lot of people will be running to the church.
Well, you see people scattering into all these locations, including apartment buildings, including alleyways. We're talking about close to hundreds of people.
What is the closest?
Which is the closest physically right now?
Yeah.
You're standing next to another apartment building, not the original one. I would say if you're standing here looking towards the finish line with the horde behind you, or the thing that's going on that we don't know what it is behind you, to your 20 feet up or maybe 50 feet up to your right would be the bar. Across that and up a little further is the market, the flea market, and basically right across from the bar is a church because it's Boston, and obviously a church is going to be across from a bar.
I guess it makes the most sense then to go proximity. If you're going to roleplay this, we're not really thinking. We're kind of running on adrenaline.
Sure.
And I might not go to the bar. I probably would go to the church.
Church.
Let's go to the church.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now again, because that's where like the church doesn't have like, you know, like fencing, like brick and wrought iron fencing and on the outside and that sort of thing. Because
the church it opens straight onto the street. It's a typical kind of white steeple church. It doesn't have any security of any sorts. Typically in this town, it's a religious town. Boston is. So I will show you a picture of what I would say it most closely resembles, so you can get an idea of security-wise. And this would be it for the open. Okay? So it looks like immediately it has kind of one, you know, just way into it, but no gate of any sort that could be sealed.
Okay. All right, let's start there, I think. That's probably where
if we can get up to the second story somehow.
It's probably... Okay, so yeah, we run towards it, and there's people screaming in.
Yes, there are people kind of already in who are like holding the door open and rushing people in, saying, "Get in, get in, get in!" And by this time, you're maybe 5 feet from the door, and you can hear the screams, the guttural, blood-curdling screams of the other people who have been bit, and they're now standing between you and maybe the. Sorry, did you say you're going to the bar or the church? Church, right. Okay, so yeah, there's still people holding the door open, waving you in. And maybe between you and the bar, there are maybe 2 or 3 of these people who are you know, freaking out and smacking their heads. And a few of them looking at you and kind of looking back towards the bar and running off in the distance and looking back as you kind of arrive at the porch of the church. You're looking back, and there might be 10, 15 of these people who are acting like this, just screaming and running off left and right, chasing down some people into the graveyard of the church and just attacking them on the ground behind the gravestones. Other of them are just screaming into the air and tearing their own faces, as a lot of them are just kind of eating other pieces of people which have been dropped. And you arrive on the church, and with a slam, you shut the door behind you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to urinate.
So the three of you, so the person who left the door open to you immediately kind of runs into the church and sits down at the steeple, or at, one of the pews, thank you. And so the three of you are kind of left to man the door as you kind of take a quick look back outside. And we're talking about maybe slits about this big that are typically on schools. It is has the wire between the glass, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about something smashing through.
Okay.
However, the thing standing on the street kind of runs ahead, and you see a man run out of the bar and straight towards the church. And he's kind of making like a wave.
Okay. You think we can get him in, Chris?
Yeah, we're gonna have to try.
Okay. So we open the door like the first man did. Is it safe?
As little time as possible having that door open. I said, as soon as we get him in, shut this door and lock it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as his
Mike,
foot.
Sorry. Like as we're doing this, I say, Mike, like check for a back door or another way.
That's what I was going to say. While they're doing that, I'm going to go around and look for other doors.
To secure the
ways of securing them.
Sounds good. Okay. So Mike, you dart off and you quickly start looking around, and I'll tell you exactly what you see in 2 seconds. The two of you manning the front door, the minute his foot hits the yellow line halfway between the two buildings, you see another thing hot on his trails, maybe 5 feet behind him.
Okay.
So is he going to make it? I'm saying, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? He's going to make it.
He's going to make it. I open the door, and I start
pick up one of the candle holders that are like beside the door, like something tall, so that I can just like bash him if I need to, and just stop him from following in.
Perfect. So you grab a nice little small wax candle, but this thing. No, I'm kidding. There's a very large wrought iron candle holder that says this was made for bashing zombies on it.
Nice.
And you grab it. And Justin, you open the door right away, or you wait?
I open it like smoothly, just making sure that there's nobody else in the direct vicinity.
Okay, why don't you roll a quick perception?
Okay.
And again, with the perception, we're not going to do any negatives, so just roll, we're going to say 2. 1 for doing it, 1 for the fact that you did think ahead to make sure that there's nothing else you're going to be letting in.
And what am I using here?
Logic?
Just D6s.
Just D6s? It's not.
We're going to use, we'll say logic.
Okay.
Unless you want to be charismatic towards the...
All right, I got one. I've got
Excellent.
Logic.
Perfect. So just before you open the door, you do take a quick look and make sure there's nothing around. And as you guys saw in the church, the kind of way up to the front door is maybe 5 feet off the ground, or 4 feet off the ground, or 3 feet off the ground, whatever. It's a way up. On the other side of the railing, down below on the floor, closest to the church, you do see something kind of just standing there, smacking its own head. Now, opening the door, the front of the door would then be kind of opposite to it, so it's not like it could have a direct route in. It looks like it would either have to climb over that railing or run around to the front to be able to get in, but there is something right there.
Okay. All right, but I open the door anyways, and silently, instead of shouting, I make it very, eagerly gesture towards this guy to run really fast.
Okay. So he sees you, and, tears welling in his eyes. He's just running, and the minute his foot hits the pavement in front of the church, the creature to the other side of the door sees him, and it bolts out towards him, and he's kind of being closed in on by the one behind him and the one kind of cutting him off. You have a split second. You can continue keeping the door open, or you can shut it.
I'm not gonna make it. I said, Justin, get back in here.
I'm just gonna. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. He's the other guy's running, right?
All right, I should roll this a little better.
Let's see if I'm just hoping that he'll be able to dodge or bash or something.
Maybe we should help him. Maybe we should run out and help him, Justin.
I don't think so.
Okay,
he's got momentum. He's running full tilt at this thing. He can knock it right over.
By 2 crazy people, you're just gonna watch?
No, I'm gonna close the door as soon as he gets tired.
No, you're not gonna go and try to help the guy?
No, because that would be idiotic. Look, it's self-preservation. Seriously, I've seen 28 days later and 28 months later. Seriously, it is a bad idea to go out there right now.
Poor guy's gonna die.
The poor guy is gonna die if he is not able to dodge the zombie.
All right. Well, it seems best to kind of be like, dude, as soon as you go out there, I'm shutting the door on you too. I decided not to run out either.
Hey, man, I've got your back, I've got Mike's back, but I'm going to do what I can for this person, but I'm not going to risk my life for him. That's the bottom line.
That's pragmatic.
That's
I'm on it. So, Justin, you die instantly. So the man's foot hits the thing. So you're saying you keep the door open, but you're not going out there.
We hesitate. Clearly, we're hesitating.
So you hesitate. Do you kind of shut the door a bit, or do you keep it wide open? What do you do?
Well, the zombie's not running towards us, right?
No, not yet. I mean, not.
No. Okay, well, I keep it there. It wouldn't take me very long to close it.
Yes, but yeah. Okay. So,
but Chris, try to find some pews or something that we can push up against.
I found
does
some.
It open outwards or does it open?
It opens outwards.
There's a whole bunch of pews in here.
If it opens outwards.
Oh yeah, it opens outwards.
Okay, well, is it the two handles? Can I take the wrought iron thing and just put it through the handles?
You could, because it opens outwards though.
That will work.
It would work if it's long enough to cover both doors. If it's short, it would still open a bit, and then
you found a long enough one.
I did find a long enough one.
Are there any cables around?
Well, hold on. These are things in the moment you would not be able to distinguish.
No, it's true. I'm keeping the door open.
Okay.
So that if he's able to get by,
he's not going to make it though.
Yes, the second we see that he's not going to make it, I'm going to shut it.
Okay, so you see him, and he sees that you're willing to keep the door open just a little longer, and he has this sense of, vigor that spikes in him, and he bolts up the stairs, jumping two at a time, and he tumbles past you into the door. However, it knocks your foot loose, and you slide down as well.
Wait, hold on. Can I do a nimble check?
Yeah, go for it.
See if I can avoid that.
Give me a 1 for the check and a 1 because you're nimble.
Okay.
And give me a 1 for the difficulty, the fact that he knocked you. And yeah, we'll just say 1 difficulty because he just knocked you and you were prepped for it.
Okay, so try to beat 4.
You have to get under
4. Yep. Yeah, under 4.
Okay, so 2 successes.
4 or under, right?
4 or under, yeah.
Yeah. And then
3, I'll remember that.
4. So that's the bad one.
Okay. So 2 successes and a failure.
Okay.
Interesting.
Twist an ankle.
So he dives in, knocking your right foot from under you, and you kind of fall, boom, face first onto the ground. However, with the force in which he knocked you back, you kept your hand gripped on that door and literally slammed it as he pulled you back. So the force in which he drove you back actually helped in slamming the door immediately. And as you did so, the creatures, or the people, normal people, who were, again, surprising you in how fast they are, faster than any human that you could say, actually had their fingers already in the door, but it immediately just sliced off 2 of the creature's fingers. And you hear a howl as the fingers fall to the floor, and it kind of screams back. Exactly, like E.T.
Elliot. Alright, I slide the thing.
In this church, motherfucker.
Can I slide the rod in between the doors just as it hopes that it'll work?
Yes. You know what's the problem though? I'm picturing something with like a kind of a bigger base and kind of a bigger top. I don't think that would be thin enough to get through theirs. I'm totally on board with it. What?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be a thin. It would have to have some sort of cantilever.
My imagination works differently, and it fits perfectly.
Does the base come off? Can I just break it off, maybe? Can I try a strength check?
Sure, but I'm gonna no, because I can't imagine they would make two-piece wrought iron kind of candlestick thing. It's a great tool. It is heavy and it is great for bashing, but I'm gonna say that it would be one piece at least.
Okay, then I hold on to the doors then as hard as I can. I say, find something we can barricade. Give me a chain, anything.
Yeah, I was thinking a chain. Are there any like chains lying
There would
around?
be like there would be things hanging on the wall, maybe with some ropes.
Yeah.
Right now, a shirt would work. Although you can't hear me.
Okay, so speaking of that, sorry. So you guys are at the door. Mike, you have quickly kind of ran. Mind you, you're pretty freaking tired now because you just ran pretty much the majority of a marathon.
No, I would actually be probably walking quickly at this point. As opposed to jogging or running. I'd be like, okay, let's check this out. But I also want to try to take a look as I'm going for other people and try to get a quick assessment of how are they looking right now as I'm going to the doors.
Yeah, so you do a very brief once-over, and you see maybe about 20 people in the church. Some of them are wearing joggers, garb, and some of them are kind of just sitting in the pews, kind of hushed talking amongst themselves. Some of them are sitting on their own, kind of just pacing back and forth with like a worried look in their eyes. A few of them have crowded around what you would assume is the father of the church or the pastor of the church or priest of the church, however you call it. Ain't no religious. I don't fucking know. And that's kind of how they're spread out. So you quickly, do you just run to the door? Do you ask anyone? Or?
Yeah, I asked, does anyone know the church? Can we get some help making sure all the doors are closed and locked?
Okay, so the father obviously would see you kind of running up to him. I'm assuming he'd be the person you'd ask.
Yep. It would make sense. He probably knows the church better than anyone else.
And he kind of says, we've already secured the back door.
All right. Any basement windows, anything like that?
Yes, there are a few. They're relatively small, though.
Okay. Any? Did you get the basement door? Is there a way into the basement?
No, there's no way into the basement from the outside. It's only from the inside.
Okay. So if we've got the front door and the back door, are there any other possible entrances that you think you could think of that might be of concern?
Does he hear me struggling with the door at all?
Mike?
Yeah. Well, the front door is still not secure.
He would be pretty. I think you would be aware.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there should be in doors that open like that. There's usually like the bolts that go in the frame and they're.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I showed to look for them.
Definitely are.
Every church I've been in has had those locks, top and bottom of the door. So Chris, all you have to do is get the door closed tight enough while Justin puts the locks in.
Okay. Well, I'm trying my darndest.
Okay, so we'll go back to that in a second.
Okay. At this point, I also ask, does this have the basement where they have they do socials or anything like that, where they've got kitchens or?
He says, yes, there is a kitchen in the basement. Yes.
Okay. Cool. But again, I'm just thinking, and also wine bottles for bombs and. Yeah, it's easy.
Wine bottle for... You mean the blood of Christ for bombs?
Absolutely.
Oh, they actually use wine? Or do they use juice?
I'm not saying that out loud. I'm saying these are things I'm thinking.
I'm just kidding.
As well as any tools, gardening, that sort of thing in the basement that we could use just to help people at least feel more secure by... it may not help, but they'll feel more comfort in being, hey, look, I've got a pitchfork. I can now get an angry mob going.
And fire. We can fight off Frankenstein.
But as soon as that's done, then I head back to those two.
Okay. So you come up to the two just as the door has slammed and the fingers are now on the ground, and the guy who kind of dove in is kind of just dragging himself across the floor back, and he kind of goes, thank you.
Okay, quickly look at him to see if he has been scratched a bit or anything, and at the same time being like, it's gonna be all right. You're with friends now. We can help you.
So you want to see if he's scratched? eh?
But at the same time, be like, eyeball him going, might have to kick his head in, but don't worry, it'll be okay.
All right, so why don't you roll a something?
All right, I'm down.
Well, now there's a few ways, and I'll just kind of broad stroke this for going forward. There's a few ways you could. What's that?
Can you use empathy to try?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you could always try to say, look, exactly. So you can roll anything you want. Just tell me how you want to do it.
Yeah, it'll be empathy to try to.
Okay, so you can empathize with him, and what are you gonna say to him?
Again, it's okay. You're inside. You're here. We're locked in. We're safe. Breathe. Focus on breathing.
And he looks at. Okay. And he looks at you and he says, "What is your name?"
It's Michael.
He says, "My name is Esmeraldo."
Esmeraldo, pleasure to meet you. Do you need anything to drink? Are you okay?
No.
Because I'll just grab some holy water and be like, drink from here.
Okay, so roll some empathy.
All right. How many would you like me to roll?
Let's do one for the roll, one for your very open-minded and acceptingness, because he likes having sex with animals, and you're accepting of that.
Absolutely.
No, we'll give you a bonus for the thinking of it, that approach over just the physical, just searching him without asking. And we'll do.
Where's your belly button? Where is it?
Yeah.
And I say, I am a first aider. Is it okay if I check you for any wounds?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll say 2, and I don't see. Yeah, we'll just say 1 negative just for the sake of it, because I think. But we'll say, you know what we'll do? We'll say roll 3 positives, and 1 negative, because I think that's a good approach. I think the way you said it was good, and you do have the open-mindedness, which I think is going to help.
All right. So the way it's going to, I'm just going to roll all 4. The one on the very right-hand side will be the negative. Sound fair?
Yep. Perfect.
Whoa.
Okay. So that's a very good roll.
All right.
Well, here's why, and again, perfect opportunity to explain this. So because the 5 is your negative die, and you've rolled a 5 in your positive die pool, they're going to cancel each other out. So all you're left with is 2 3s, and since your empathy is 4, you have 2 successes.
Nice.
So that was fantastic. So he says,
You're welcome.
he says yes, of course, and he rolls up his sleeves and he shows you, he says, no, I wasn't attacked. I saw those things too. And he stands up and he says, let me help. What can I do to help?
Okay. Well, let's first of all just relax and just try to clear your mind.
And he says,
once we can assess the situation, let's figure out how we can all best help.
He says, for sure, I understand. He's like, but I want you to know that I am an EMT as well.
Awesome. Well, why don't you start checking the people in the church and see who needs help?
Perfect. So he says, yeah, of course. And you can tell that now he's pretty much right as rain. He was startled, but he's like, yeah, for sure. And he starts walking over to people and talking to them. All
right. And Justin, Chris, you guys okay? Bring it in. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. We're going to make it through this.
You got the door shut yet?
++ for hug bonus. You guys have a hug bonus?
Well, then I leave the door and I go and hug.
Okay, the door bursts open and zombies run in.
Well, we hug.
No, perfect. Okay. Okay, what next?
Right, so is the door locked? Did we close it?
Yeah, I'm going to say that they weren't particularly fighting it at this point. With the immediacy of how it happened and the chopping off of the fingers and all that kind of shit, you easily put the pins in the door on the tops and the bottoms, and now it is relatively secure. They're not pulling it or anything like that at this point. In fact, the first woman who attacked and got her fingers cut off, she immediately screamed and ran away. The second guy kind of stood there for a second, pacing back and forth. He kind of went right up to the window and looked in, and then he fucking turned around and left too.
Okay, so now what I want to look at is the windows of the church. Do they have the traditional older wooden shutters that are on the inside and you can close them as well? They won't necessarily add security. What they will add is people looking in. and will help with the sound as well. That's what I'm looking for right now.
Well,
Let's leave it to chance. Plus they do, minus they do not, negative or 0, I'll roll again.
Okay.
So they do not.
All right. That's a fun die. What's that one?
That's the fate die. I'm just going to use that for 50-50 chances from now on. It's like a coin, basically. So no, they do not have any shutters. But I'll say that they are not perfectly clear.
I learned it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'll say that they are stained glass. So it's not like they can be seen perfectly clear through. However, light and movement would be seen through them.
Alrighty.
Well, they looked like they were pretty high up from the picture.
Yeah.
Justin, I think
that's what I'm saying. So why don't we, like, are we feeling good about the doors, Chris? Justin, you feeling okay with the doors?
I don't know. The only issue if we put pews in front of the door is that it means it's harder to get out now. So
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to necessarily do anything doors. I just want to know how are you feeling about the doors.
They're now locked. Yeah, they seem secure.
Okay, so you guys feel comfortable helping figure out who's here, who needs help, who, even if it's just psychologically calming them down, because I know, Chris, you're very good at that sort of thing as well.
Oh. So I asked the group.
But at the same time, I want to make sure you're in a good enough mind that you're like not always constantly looking at the doors, because that's also going to worry people.
Good call. I'm going to do a roll. I don't know if the GM wants me to do this, but I have a weak stomach, so seeing the fingers cut off, it might have made me a little woozy. No, so I'm going to do a negative roll. Or how does that work? One positive, one negative? What I want to do is I'm going to try to get the attention of the group and have everyone sit down in the pews so we can talk in a way that's not just, try to organize instead of just being chaos and people panicking.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Oh, I actually would like to go maybe to the priest, being that he's probably someone that they're going to look to for guidance in a situation like this.
Perfect.
And that's that he gets everyone to congregate.
Okay, so how, and that's a good point. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up with the weak stomach and things like that. Because I want to mention that real quick because it was so exciting back then. I want to go back and make sure we got this. So Justin, why don't you take a physical stress for the negative die that happened when he tackled you, Esmeralda.
Okay.
And we're gonna call that a sprained ankle. So you're in a fair amount of pain right now. You can still walk on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, as harsh as that might sound, I think the fact that you were just running 2 hours of a marathon weakened. It just made it that much worse. So you're in pretty bad shape in regards to that, and that's on your right foot.
Okay.
So shade in one of those. Chris, yes, you do have a weak stomach, and typically these would add negative die to rolls. But because you're not rolling for that, I will say let's leave that for now.
Okay. Keep that in mind for something more gruesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll keep your sheets up so I don't forget that. And Mike, your negative is often lacks a filter, but you didn't do anything there, so we're fine. But yes, so right now only everything. Okay, so Chris, you said you wanted to address the crowd and speak to the phone.
First to the priest and see if he does look like he's a good leader. If it looks like people are looking to him, and if not, I will just address the crowd myself.
Okay, and Justin, sorry, go ahead.
Probably an empathy on the priest.
Okay.
See what state he's in, and then on the crowd as well to see if I can get their attention.
Perfect. And Justin, what do you plan on doing?
I'm going to limp over to a pew and roll up my... I guess I'm not really wearing pants.
Short shorts, baby.
Short shorts, yeah. And I'm just going to take a look at my ankle and just massage it gently. And leave it out, make it obvious that I've hurt, but.
And Mike, what do you want to do?
While they're doing this, I'm actually just going to quickly ask if there is a congregation member here. That knows the church to get the first aid kit, and they can take me down to the basement because I want to take a look at what sort of foodstuffs we have there before we resort to cannibalism.
Sounds great. However, you have no option and you start eating people. No. Okay, so
excellent. To do it.
I taste like I think taste like onions.
Well, these zombies love onions. So. Just a quick, before we continue, just a quick shout out to everybody watching. Thanks so much. Again, the tweets are fantastic. Jesper's tweeting us lots of nice stuff. He named the guy Esmeraldo.
Oh, is that where it came from?
That's why it came from that.
Appreciate it.
We also have a few people. Gabe is commenting on our YouTube, and he's asking a bunch of good questions and stuff like that. And he told you to steal a train, which could be an option. He also asked if Esmeralda was related to Manuel, and I couldn't remember who Manuel was at first, but I think he was the guy I did in the Zombie Cruise one.
Oh yeah.
So I said, yeah, he's his half brother from Boston.
Thanks.
All right. So again, thanks all for watching, and keep tweeting and commenting because these guys are going to be monitoring that, and I can use ideas if you have any and stuff like that. So. Excellent. All right. So let's start with Justin because yours seems the most straightforward. So you again limp over to the pew and you sit down. You take a look at your ankle and it's swollen pretty bad. And you lift up your leg and you're wearing short shorts, so your dick falls out. And as your dick falls out and it's just sitting there, you tuck it back in. And Esmeraldo sees, not the dick, but he sees you walk over and he kind of goes, oh, what's up?
Oh, I sprained my ankle. It should be fine. It's no big deal.
So he sits down next to it and he says, dude, can I take a look? I'm an EMT.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So he picks up he looks at your foot rather, and he sees that it is relatively swollen. He says, this looks pretty bad. I'm sorry, was this when I dived in?
Yeah, but I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, it was a pretty stressful situation. I didn't expect you to come in the door gracefully.
And he kind of stops for a second. He looks up and he says, thank you for keeping that door open for me. I know you didn't have to do that.
Oh, you're welcome.
He says, you saved my life. I want you to know that.
I'm glad you made it.
So he says, you know what, this looks pretty bad, but I think if I wrap it up for you, I think it could be fine. You should be able to walk on it.
That's great. Great news. Thanks very much. You say your name was?
Esmeraldo.
Justin.
Esmeraldo Rodriguez.
Esmeraldo Rodriguez. My name is Justin James. Nice to meet you. I hold out my hand to shake his.
And he shakes it as well. He says, okay, let me go find something to wrap it with, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
So he goes off, and while Chris and Mike are doing their thing, he does come back and he wraps it. And after he wraps it, it's still painful, but you can put pressure on it without, blowing out your ankle or anything like that.
Cool.
So, Chris, you get up or not get up, you rather walk across the open church. You walk to the fucking priest. I don't know, I was trying to phrase it in a nice way, but I couldn't think of it. So you just walk. And this is the first time you've actually looked around the church, and you also see what I described to Mike. You see a few people huddled, a few people walking back and forth, with worried looks on their face, just freaking out. Some people have some blood splattered on them, and you walk straight to. Sorry?
The minister?
Yeah, you walk straight to the minister, who actually has a huddle of about 5 people around him. And he's kind of mid-answering their questions. And as you approach, he says, look, there's a kitchen downstairs. We do have food if we need it. But I think for now the important thing is to stay here and stay quiet.
I say, I agree, but let's get organized before people start panicking. Can you have everyone sit down so we can get organized and we can have a plan?
So the other people who are listening kind of turn their attention to you. And the priest says, yes, of course. And look, I appreciate you locking the doors and letting that man in. I saw that. And a few people say, yeah, no, thank you.
Okay. So he does he look like he's going to take charge or no?
Is he going to take charge? You can ask him.
I said, are you going to address everybody, or would you like me to?
He seems shaken. Does he want to address everybody, or do you? Good question. I'm going to say yes. I think he's a bit of a. I mean, he's a Boston priest, so he's a bit of a, not a tough guy, but he's not afraid of anything. He's got a pretty solid mind. So he says, I can, but based on the fact that you've already proven yourself to these people, I'd be comfortable if you wanted to address them, if you know what you think we should do next or have a suggestion.
Sure. So I step up in the front of the church and I say, excuse me, everyone, can you please take a seat? I know it's been a stressful few minutes, but we need to get organized to make sure that everyone is safe, and we're taking the best precautions to remain safe. So if you could all sit down.
Okay, so as you say that, your voice kind of echoes through the room, and you hear screaming outside the church on the other side of the stained glass windows, and you hear like a thud on the side of the building, and then kind of smashing against the building. Like, doom, doom, doom.
I'd say better yet, we will congregate in the basement where we will have a bit more quiet. Please, you will find my uncle. He'll be down there, and I'll follow you guys down. So let's make our way downstairs where it'll be safer.
And the father kind of gives you like a knowing nod, like a good call.
Follow the minister, and he'll lead the way downstairs.
And he does, and he continues downstairs. So Michael, in the meantime, you kind of went up to one of the congregation members. You were asking around, you said?
Yeah, just how well they know the church at all, and whether they got a first aid kit, as well as again, basic things like bathrooms, running water, and then the way upstairs, because I want to take a look at what's going on
for sure
from the upper window. Yeah,
so you're looking around the main area, and you do see that the second row, as it were, the second floor is it actually does surround. It's a large open center. There is a back area where it looks like a choir would probably sit, and the kind of second balcony just lines it. You can actually see pretty much everything that happens that would be on the second floor from the main floor.
Okay.
And you kind of walk up, or you kind of ask a few people. You kind of say, "Hey, are you part of the congregation or whatever?" And everyone kind of gives you a shrug. And you do see Chris. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say. So first thing is, at that point, then go over and check on Justin, see if he needs a hand, because I was actually going to suggest we all go downstairs as well.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
See if he wants a hand getting down there.
Yeah,
excellent.
Definitely, that'd be great. Thanks, man.
So you see Justin is sitting in a pew and his dick's hanging out, and you walk over and you say, "Justin, put your dick away," and that's when he...
I wouldn't say that. Don't be rude.
Justin,
first I would marvel at the sheer beauty, then get a little twinge of jealousy, thinking, "Oh, why couldn't mine be just that majestic?"
So you walk over and you see that Esmeralda is actually helping Justin wrap his...
Wrap his
foot.
What?
Put a condom. No, he's wrapping his foot.
I sprayed this too.
It needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He's wrapping Justin's foot in a bandage, and Esmeralda kind of looks up and says, "He'll be fine. I'm just helping him out with this."
Hey, Mike. Downstairs, they say they got a kitchen, right? Thought I overheard that. Might be a good idea to stock up on some water if there's any bins or whatever that we could load up while we've got running water here.
I agree.
I don't know if the taps are going to go out.
So that being said, actually, you guys do realize that you're pretty freaking thirsty because you were running a marathon and your legs are already starting to kind of cramp up a little bit. So Esmeralda kind of nods and says, "Yeah, we'll meet you downstairs, Mike. I can help Justin down there." And you now see Chris is talking to the group, and just him and the father.
Yeah, so I want to go upstairs and look at because if that picture, there was sort of an upstairs, almost bell towery thing, and I want to see what I can see from there and just see what's going on. I'll let them know and just be like, I'm just going to go see what I can see on the streets.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no one's going to stop you. I think everyone's kind of so just, shocked. A few people are just kind of wide-eyed, staring at nothing. And can you hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my thing's just frozen. If I go down, I'll be back very shortly, but I'm not sure why my browser just froze. Oh, no, it's back up. Weird. So, yeah, you decide to head upstairs, and going through one of the small little back rooms, you see a staircase leading down and another staircase leading up, and you head upstairs and you see it's a very straightforward, just a kind of a balcony that you can overlook looking down, and you head to one of the nearest windows and you take a look.
Not yet.
Oh, no, not yet.
First thing I do is take a moment to freak out.
Okay, so...
Because this is where, now that I'm away from everyone, that's where I would be like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Holy crap, this could be the end. All right, I'm done. Let's go.
Quickest freak out ever.
That is freaking out, man. Whoa.
It's pragmatic. Gets to the point, moves on.
Actually, you are pragmatic. That's true. So you do a cut and dry realization. But that's good. Yeah, you do. You take a moment to assess, and you kind of very nice, Mike. Very like you. And then you take a peek outside, and what you see is a. Now, are you looking at the front of the church, which overlook the street, the sides?
I would probably look the street side first. See, because again, that was directly across was the bar.
Yep. Excuse me. So you walk to the front of the church and you look out one of the front windows, looking down on the street, and you see, the dotted pools of blood that kind of line the street. You hear the screams now that you can kind of place the direction they're coming through from. You kind of hear them around, and you do see every few seconds just the kind of the cusp of someone maybe running on the corner of your vision to another direction.
Holy, like they're like super fast.
Very fast, extremely fast.
Holy crap! Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now
and looking
a little bit.
Yeah, you have to change your pants a few times.
Yep.
And you look down across the street to the bar, and you do see the front doors of the bar wide open, and you see just gore, blood and sinew in streaks leading out and in of the bar. The small front windows are just smashed, and it basically looks like just a pit of dismembered corpses and things like that. And that's just the entryway to the bar.
Right. And then quick view out the side windows.
Yeah, so you take a look around and you see that if the street is facing, or sorry, if the church is facing the street, and you're standing looking out that window, to the right windows, which in the picture was a parking lot, is actually a cemetery.
Okay.
And you're looking down and you see a few disemboweled corpses lying kind of in the graveyard from when they were attacked. And you do see, actually, in that corner, you see a man pacing back and forth very quickly. As you walked up the stairs, you did hear something thump against the side while Chris was addressing the people, and you would assume that this might be the guy. Other than that, it's just a standard large graveyard. On the other side of the building, you are right next to another building, actually, and it's taller than the church, so you can't see the roof, but you can kind of see down into an alleyway, which looks like it's closed at the end closest to the street.
Gotcha.
And it seems relatively empty.
Okay, so at this point, I would probably take a moment to sit, curl up in a little ball again, and be like, okay, how are we getting out of this? What are we doing? And try to just, again, take some time to assess before heading down because my thought would be like, okay, I got to be able to tell Chris, Justin something, and I got nothing yet. So
I'll give you some time to meditate on it.
Yeah, I'd be like, do my little freak out. How am I going to get them home? How am I going to keep them safe? And what the hell are we doing with all these people? Like, how do we move this many people safely? Because we can't stay here forever.
Yeah.
And so you can cut to those guys because that's exactly what I would be doing before I head downstairs. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point, you do hear moving downstairs, and you see. You kind of, you maybe lean over the balcony and you see that a number of people are filing out of the pews and heading downstairs to the basement. And I assume Chris Chris probably would be looking up, maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Esmeralda, did he? Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Well, you see Esmeralda helping Justin down the stairs.
Right. Because at some point, I want to get everyone and do a physical on all of them.
Perfect.
But we gotta get them calm first.
Good. Okay. So everyone's filing out of the main floor of the church. Did you want to go downstairs as well and join them in the basement?
No, I'll do that. Yeah, once I got my
Yeah. Okay, so basically, and I'll give it a few minutes before you join them.
Yep.
So basically, Chris, you would probably be one of the first downstairs.
Yep.
Because you would obviously, that's where you're heading first, and you were the one to decide. So you go down there, and you see basically a small ceilinged area, gymnasium floor type with no lines or anything, but that like linoleum tile.
Oh, kitchenette kind of thing.
Yeah, and then a small kitchenette behind that with kind of a large open window. Like a large open space, like a serving area. And there are, it's a small basement, and there are windows about this big on the ground floor. You can see the grass.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that we block out. I take maybe some cushions that work for some of the chairs and things like that, or some kneeling cushions for praying and that type of thing. And I try to block out the windows just to make sure that nothing's going to freak out people by looking in at us or anything like that. Just as people are coming in, trying to do it inconspicuously.
Okay.
That said, I make sure that there's also candles in the room just in case the power goes out.
Okay.
Nice.
So you do that. I mean, you're going to be able to find, if you're motivated to block them, you're going to find stuff to block them. And as you're blocking them, you do see a few sets of footprints walking by, kind of rush like.
Yeah.
As that happens, you kind of you don't move, and then you block it back up.
Yeah, and I asked maybe someone who either approaches me to ask if they can help, or it looks like they're from a church. I say maybe you could you get some coffee and tea going for the people while we are just trying to act as if everything was normal and figure stuff out.
Okay. So they do that, and the father's the first to recommend, we can make some tea, and we have some juice too, and you see a few people sitting around. And as as Justin joins you and kind of sits down in a chair, Justin, for the sake of the game, I'm going to say you're pretty much up to the point where you could walk by yourself now.
Okay.
It hurts, and to run wouldn't really work, but you're pretty much free to walk around yourself. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue.
Okay. Well, I would want to walk around anyways, just because, just pacing back and forth and letting the blood circulate in my legs after the long run. So yeah, that's all I'm really doing. I do make the suggestion again to Chris and maybe the father just to get some big buckets of water, or just fill some jugs of water in case the water goes out.
Okay, so you ask the woman with the biggest breasts if you can fill her jugs with water, and she kind of looks at you puzzled and says, "Da fuck?" And then it clicks in that you mean like jugs. So you go and you kind of fill a few jugs of water.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would do it.
Oh, you do that, and you run the water for a fair amount of time until you filled every capable bucket in the room.
Somebody must have a cell phone, so I instruct ask around for a cell phone. You call the police.
Okay.
What we would try to do.
So you kind of address everyone now that you can say it without worrying about monsters breaking in. And Michael, you kind of come downstairs and you stand near the back, and the person next to you. You see he's actually looking at his cell phone in his hand, and he puts it in his pocket, and he begins crying. And he kind of just has his head like this in a shamed look as Chris kind of addresses and asks, and no one really stands up. Most of them are joggers.
Yep.
Some of them are older, don't really have cell phones.
So I'd be like, "Hey, you all right? What's up?"
And he kind of turns away from you, and he's kind of like, "I'm fine."
Okay. Is it okay if we? I was gonna say, is it okay if we borrow your phone?
And he says, yeah, and he just hands it to you as tears are in his eyes.
Yeah. So I actually I'll bring it over to Chris, right? And then I'll go back to him and just be like, "What, dude? What's up? What? Do you want to go in another room and talk?"
And he looks at you, And roll an empathy.
I'll roll what I want.
Okay, roll a vitality.
Okay, just one? Like one die?
2. And they're both going to be positive.
2 and 4, so we're good.
You're good.
We're
you died.
great.
They didn't show up. Perfect. Oh yeah, both successes. Okay. Okay.
I didn't show up again? Weird.
No, they didn't show up.
2 and a 4.
So you're cheating, obviously.
Yeah.
So he kind of looks at you, and he sees that you're not just asking frivolously, that you actually care. And he kind of says, yeah, can we go in the other room? And he stands off. And to the side room is like a playroom for young kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small chairs and stuff like that. And he kind of walks in there, and he
before we go, I just tell you guys we're just going in there for a bit.
Okay. Do you join him, or do you two let Mike do what he wants?
Oh, I would let him, because I obviously have taken on a role of leadership, and I shouldn't just leave the people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Justin, did you say the same?
Yeah, I'll probably let him do his thing.
I asked Justin to maybe go sit near the stairs and keep an ear, just in case. And I say, I introduce myself to the crowd. I say, hi, my name's Chris, and you saw Justin and Michael. We were all in the marathon, as many of you guys have been. I'm trying to call the police right now. The best thing we can do in this situation is hang tight and not to panic. So, there's coffee and tea. Just, if you want to introduce yourself to what was his name?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. He's an EMT, so he can help out with anyone who's injured or shortness of breath or anything like that. Feel free to go talk to him. We're just going to try to secure the area, and the police should be here shortly. So then I walk away and try to make a call to the police.
Sorry. Just read a comment. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I'm going to call the police.
Okay. It's good. It's going to be...
Yeah, okay. As everyone's... it's funny because I assumed that the whole time. That's why I never used the phone.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with it.
One time it doesn't work, right?
It did work at the prison. Just no one showed up. I'm just going to say, and it's not a matter of like the cell phone towers being down or anything like that. I'm just going to think it's flooded with calls.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of the phone lines being... It's like New Year's Eve, right?
Now, again, in the basement, as a family room, children's playroom, anywhere, did we see a TV?
Or radio.
Or a radio, yep.
I'm going to say plus there is, minus there isn't. There is. I'm going to say there's both. Why the hell not? So there is a TV, and there is a radio.
Yeah. So I will try to turn it on, but turn the volume off. And I don't know Boston, but you know how we got like CP24?
Yeah, they'll have.
I'm going to see if we got something like that where we can still watch the updates.
Yep.
And see if that gives us any hints while I talk with this guy.
Perfect, and it's on. So you turn it on, you mute it, and it's like a CP24, and it's on wheels. So do you keep the cart in the room with you guys, or do you wheel it out for them?
Absolutely.
You keep it with you guys.
Yeah. And
okay.
And as I talk to him, I'll try to turn him away from the TV.
Okay. So he walks in the room and he starts pacing kind of back and forth, and he's like I don't deserve to be here, and he's saying it with like tears in his eyes.
I don't think any of us deserve to be here. The fact is, we are here.
No, when he looks at you and his eyes are welling with tears, he says, "No, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be alive."
Why do you say that, sir?
And he crumbles into a ball,
yep.
And he starts crying, and he says, "My little girl. I left her outside. I left my little girl outside, and I ran."
Mike's like, I would have done the same.
So where's the issue here? Where's the issue? No.
He says,
they're looking for food. All right,
he says, I had an opportunity.
I
saw the door open to the church. I saw the door open, and I ran, and I left.
It's not going to help right now, but just know you did the best you could with what you had. You made a choice. It wasn't even necessarily a conscious choice. It was instinctive. There's nothing I can say that's going to help you right now, and I apologize for that. I wish I had the words. So, again, bottom line is, if we're all going to get out of this, we're all going to have to work together, and we're going to need you. You're going to be needed to help someone else's little girl here. But at the moment, take the time to breathe. I'm here if you want to talk. I can get the priest here if you want to talk.
And he says, what am I supposed to do? Just leave her there to die?
Right now? Because how long ago was, like, not talking to him, how long ago was that?
This was maybe like 15 minutes.
Where
20
did
minutes?
you leave her?
And his eyes, again, are bloodshot with just the overwhelming emotion. And he doesn't even look at you when he says it. He says, he's like, she's fucking still outside in the car. I just locked the door and I ran.
Arlen, I hate you! Oh, can you draw me a picture, a map, where your car is?
And he actually has the keys in his hand. He's been holding them. You said you wouldn't have noticed. He says, it's a fucking van. It's right outside. It's on the other side of the street. I saw something was going up. I was getting out to get a drink at the bar. I fucking locked the door, and I ran to the church, and I saw her in the back seat. She was just sitting there. I left her.
So, could I see the van from the windows up top?
Yes, he did. It didn't stand out,
No,
so it wasn't.
I'm just saying,
it was there.
but I can go up and take another look.
Absolutely.
All right. So what I want to do is be like, okay, just stay here. I'm gonna get my friend Justin. I want to go upstairs, take a look, see how it looks. If it looks like something we can do something about, I promise you we'll do all we can. But I'm not going to risk the lives of everyone in here. And I apologize for that. I don't expect you to understand.
No, he's like, look, man, I'm a piece of shit. I left my fucking girl in the car, and I ran
do
the same
something
way.
about it, in the sense of getting your shit together and knowing that we need you here. We need you right here, right now, to help the group so that we all come out of this together. And I just leave them there, and I flag Justin down.
So roll an empathy. One positive, one negative.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So again, the one on the right hand, if it shows, the one on the right hand will be the negative. So I got a 3 on the positive, a 1 on the negative.
Okay. So that's a success and a failure. Okay. So he kind of nods knowingly. He says, yeah.
All right. Give me your keys.
And he hands them to you.
All right. So then Justin, I see, has already made his way upstairs without me even telling him, which is excellent.
So Chris, so you walk out, and Chris obviously kind of makes googly eyes at you.
Yep. Okay, and I'll flag Chris over as well. When you got time, come over.
Yeah, I probably, by this time, everyone's kind of doing their own thing, so yeah, probably trying to see Esmeralda and stuff, so I'll make my way over.
Okay.
So I explain the situation. Look at this guy in here. Little girl might be trapped in the van outside. You take Justin, because again, I feel like you are taking the leadership role here, and you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing a really great job. Because look at these people, they're at least calm. All we can hope for right now.
Can I make a suggestion that you could maybe use the bell? You could use the bell of the church to just, draw the attention away from the vehicle when you guys are going, and maybe slip out the back, and then
But
get the
that'll
girl.
bring everything here, and that's what we don't
It'll
want.
bring it to the church, but it won't necessarily. We are in a secure place, as it seems right now. Just as an option. Just saying, I don't want you guys to go out there and everybody's going to be around the, you need a distraction or something.
We do need a distraction, but let's contemplate this first, because again, the bell, though we're secure now with 1 or 2 of them outside, we're not necessarily secure with like 1,000 of them outside.
I agree.
Right? So that's why I want to take Justin upstairs.
Either way, let me know what you're going to do before you do it.
No, we're not doing anything yet. All we're doing is going upstairs to take a look. I just want Justin there as a second observer, just in case he catches something I don't.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yep.
And once we see the situation, we'll come down and we'll discuss what we think is best for everyone.
All right.
Justin, you okay with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so again, do you need hand getting up the stairs?
No, I think I'm okay now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll be fine now.
So we'll go do that.
Can I erase sprained ankle, Harlan, or am I going to keep that?
No, you're going to keep that, because if you get your ankle hurt again, it's going to be doubly so.
Okay.
But all I'm going to say is that your ankle does not won't affect you as much. It will affect you when you run, but we're going to say walking is back to normal.
Back to normal. Okay.
Just Chris, I'm going to see if you can get this guy that's in this room.
Yep.
I'll let also Chris know about the TV. So you may want to close the door or whatever, so that not everyone can see, but you can come in for updates.
Mm-hmm.
But get this guy busy. Get him serving coffee or something like that.
Does anybody have a camera? Is anybody here with a camera?
Well, a plus they do.
So there's nothing.
Or reroll.
They do. Someone does have a camera.
Someone has a camera.
Someone was like standing on the side taking pictures.
Okay, perfect.
Zoom.
So I said to Michael, maybe we could use that as a telescope just so we can get a better view of something if we need detailed look.
Yeah.
So I step up to the man.
Good call,
and
good call.
I say, "Excuse, it's a man holding one, or?"
Yes. Yeah.
Is he with anybody?
Yeah, he's
this
with.
This is not the time, Justin. This is not the time.
No, he's single and looking.
No,
he's on Tinder.
And you're single.
No, he's just standing by himself. He's an older guy. Again, he's
Okay.
kind of just looking down.
Okay. I say, "Excuse me, sir."
He's actually looking at his camera as you're doing it, and he goes, "Yeah,
I see you got a camera there.
yeah."
This may seem like a strange request, but would I be able to borrow it? My friend and I were going to go to the top of the church and just take a few shots and take a good look around while it's still daytime, and your camera could be very useful. Would I be able to borrow it for a few minutes?
And he says, "Well, roll for it.
Empathy or charisma?
Yeah. Let's do charisma."
Okay. All right. So how many?
We're gonna say 2 positive because your charisma has a likable.
Likable.
Yeah. And so we're gonna say 2 positive, 1 for doing it, 1 for and we're going to say no negative, just 2 positive, but 1 will obviously get stopped to succeed.
Okay, we're good. It's 4.
We're good. Excellent. So he looks at it and he looks at you, and you actually see that he's looking at the photos on the digital screen of it, and you can see that he's taken a picture of a woman getting bit. And he's kind of, as he's staring at it, you see a tear hit the screen because he's crying, and you just see him go delete yes, and it says card deleted or whatever, and he hands you the camera. He says yeah, of course.
Okay.
And he hands it to you, and he kind of walks away.
All right, and I say thank you, and I let Mike know about that guy, that he might have some emotional stress going on too.
You let Mike know or Chris know?
I'll let Chris know, actually, since he's staying down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell him, yeah, I'm going upstairs and bringing this camera. It belongs to this gentleman here. Maybe keep an eye on him or sit down, have a talk with him. He seems pretty upset as well. He might have lost someone.
Okay, so the 2 of you head upstairs. The man with the camera heads into the kitchen. And Chris, what are you doing?
I will tell the minister and ask him to approach the gentleman in the other room and maybe give him some counseling.
Okay.
And when he feels appropriate, ask him to have the guy come out and continue filling up with the water basins and to maybe make some food and do an inventory check, trying to look for anything helpful. So get him to do that.
Okay. So the priest kind of nods and says, "Yes, of course." Yeah. And he leaves. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's all I'll be doing right now, and I'll probably be walking back and forth, talking with everybody, keeping everyone calm. And
are you gonna speak to the man with the camera?
Because Justin, yeah, I will. Justin, let me know about the picture and everything that I deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to the man with the camera and say, "Are you doing okay, sir? Is everything all right?"
Okay. So you speak with him.
Yeah.
So Justin and Mike.
I offer him a coffee too, or a tea or something.
Okay.
Chamomile.
Rude.
Hot.
He likes lattes.
I whip him up one then.
Let me foam that up for you. No, so he kind of graciously accepts. So okay, so Justin and Mike, you're heading upstairs, and you hit the main floor of the church. What's on next?
Just
we were going up to the tower again.
Okay, so the two of you head up to the top floor of the church.
Do we hear anything while we're on the main floor?
Yes. So you stop and take a listen, and obviously, to actually take a listen and kind of make sure that what's going on outside, you hear the world outside, and you hear distant explosions. You hear gunfire. You hear a slew of screams and blood-curdling, guttural growls off in the distance. Every few seconds, maybe not every few seconds, but after a few seconds of listening, I should say, you hear just a something run by the kind of the outside of the church, and you hear the city, and including the outside world just outside this church, alive with people and the creatures that you is very much a busy, and this is not or a busy city, and it's not just outside of what you can hear. It feels like just outside the church as well.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so we continue on to the top of the tower.
Okay, so you arrive to the front, and I'm assuming you're going to be looking out on the street.
Yes.
Yep. Trying to see the van, trying to see anything around the van, obviously out the side windows. I also want to look at the roadway itself. See if it, I mean, it was supposed to have a marathon, so it should be pretty clear. Shouldn't be a lot of traffic, but since the panic, there might be.
Yep.
Because I also want to find out, do they have like a church van that we can pile everyone into and drive the hell out?
Okay. So you do see that there is a small alleyway next to the bar. A relatively large alleyway next to the bar, and you do see the back of a red van, like a Dodge minivan type thing.
Yep.
Which you would assume, based on the key and the car that he described, would be the man's car. Other than that, there are a few cars maybe lining the road a little ways up. And as you're looking at the car, the two of you are kind of doing a joint perception. So you get a little bit of a bonus to when Mike was just looking. And you each kind of notice a little more detail. You do see that a little ways up was the flea market. And you do see movement. And while it is on the same side as your church, you can see... How can you see movement?
Because it's the stuff that's moving compared to the stuff that's not.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of how you would actually, because it's on the same side of the street. It's like trying to look at your neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Here's the fucking MacGyver of lookers that you guys are. You see the movement in the reflection on the building across the street from the flea market.
Absolutely.
So it's just a great day, and you do see through the darkened windows on the opposite side of the flea market, you do see movement in the flea market's window, so you can see that there actually is things moving. So it's a stretch, and you're like, shit, and you're seeing it through the digital camera, because I'll give that will be how we're going. Other than that, I'm assuming you now scan the van?
The van, yeah.
Okay. So, who has the camera?
I'd say Justin.
Okay, all right. I mean, I don't have the best eyes, according to my logic.
That's why you got the camera.
To make them better.
All right, I don't know why I'm rolling those. Okay, so yeah, I've got the camera, I've got logic. I'm a quick learner. I don't know if that'll help me with the camera to observe. And I have an addiction to games, so I don't know if I'm just gonna.
So your eyesight is great because you're used to looking at those game screens.
No, that would be a minus.
Shh, I'm trying to help you. Oh, right. Minus addiction. Okay. Well, either way, you're looking. I'm going to say that the bonus is the fact that you're using the camera.
Okay.
Right, because realistically, that was the clever approach that you guys took to it. So you're looking through the camera, and it has a great digital zoom, and you can actually see, the tires, and you're scanning the van itself first, and you see the black. Sorry?
Do the windows look broken at all?
Okay, so you can only see the back side of the van, meaning the back window and the back kind of right side, because it is parked headfirst into the alley. And they're not broken. They are tinted, so you can't see too much into it, but based on the light in the van, you do see the seats within it. So you're kind of scanning around, and you look at the road and the gravel in the alleyway or the pavement, and there's no sign of blood or anything like that.
Okay.
So, how long do you want to look at it?
Well.
No movement inside the van, though, is what I would ask.
Yeah, is there any movement in the van?
At this moment,
because it was
no.
tinted windows, right? So you couldn't really tell.
You can see. So I think if you saw movement, you would be able to tell. But the difficulty is how long are you willing to wait to see? Because movement obviously is contextual to how long you've stood.
I'll wait with the camera on the van, and then Mike can just look around the street and just watch elsewhere.
Sounds good. Okay, so Mike, you're continuing watching the street, and every once in a while, maybe a few minutes, you see a zombie or a creature that's. I mean, at this time, you guys are dumb. You can surmise. Yeah. A very sick human dart into the street, and he kind of sniffs the air, and he'll run out.
Yep.
And you wait around for maybe 10-15 minutes. It's now 1 o'clock-ish in the afternoon, maybe a little later.
All right.
And sorry?
Okay, go ahead.
And you're getting a little tired. You guys did run a 2-hour fucking marathon, so you're tired. And
I'm bagged.
Yeah, so you're kind of not nodding off, but you're definitely having to do one of those every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
like I'm doing right now.
Chris brings up coffee. No, not really. And you continue staring, and after a few minutes, another zombie comes in, and it runs right past the back of the van. And as you see it run past the back of the van, something stirs in the van.
Okay.
You see something in the back seat kind of just crouch a little more.
Good. Okay. All right. So she's in there. She hasn't left. Which means she's okay. Question is, do we want to tell the father that she's okay, or do we want to keep him in the dark? Yeah.
Not yet. What we want to do is let's go talk to Chris.
Yeah.
Let's see what we decide on as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we're tired. We're not moving as fast as normal, even, right?
Yeah.
And again, to make it back here, carrying another body is going to be tough as well. So maybe we can use Esmeralda, or.
So as you're standing here debating.
Well,
we're walking back. Yeah.
Sorry, as you're walking down debating, you are kind of walking down the stairs, and you hear a rumble. And do you react? Do you just continue?
Where's the rumble coming from?
It's coming from the street. From the street out front.
Well, let's go take a look.
So on the main floor, you kind of head over to the front doors, and you take a look, and you see a large bus heading to the direction you guys ran from.
Yep.
Just a large yellow school bus. And as it passes, you see people clinging to the side of it, just trying to get in. And as it passes, things dart out from the alleys. and start chasing it, and including things that were inside the bar. The bar empties and starts running after the bus continuing down with its loud kind of rumbling. And it eventually kind of just goes past the view, and zombies just trail off behind it.
Okay.
No time to talk to Chris. This is our time to go.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, is the candlestick still there?
I don't know. What'd you do with
Yeah,
Chris?
we would have just left it talk.
I would have left it there. There would have been another one at the front anyways.
Yes. So yeah, there are 2 candle things still there.
So again, Justin, same deal. You stand by the door. If I do not make it back or do not look like I'm making it back, you lock the door.
Okay, but if I see someone coming out from behind you, what do you want me to do?
Give me the same chance you gave Esmeralda.
No, I mean if I see someone coming up from the side beside the church.
Oh,
That's in the middle.
let me know?
Me and you.
Sound, symbol, crow sound. I don't know.
Look up here! Look up here!
Okay, all right. You know what? Here's what I think we should do. I feel like we should tell someone. We should run downstairs quickly, let Chris know.
Yep.
Probably want to wait a little bit longer to see how many zombies will clear out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to run down, just let Chris know quickly, maybe get him up here, and then we'll go from there. All right, so oh, wait, no, you should go. I've got
you can't run. You're kind of like...
Yeah, Mike, you go. I'll keep a look outside.
And even you running, Mike.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I'm a fast walk. I'm not.
Yeah. So you guys kind of fast walk, and by this time the bus is long gone, and you see zombies starting to populate the street again. Yeah. And in fact, now they're more working into a group, because essentially the bus has pooled them together, and then as it kind of left, they started clamoring back. So it was now starting to move in a mass.
Well, it's a good thing that we didn't go, because by the time that you would have been out there would have been exactly the time that they would have been coming back.
Yeah. So you continue back down to the to this basement, and you go to talk to Chris.
Well, we'll talk to Chris, but and then at the same time, let Chris know that let's see if he can find out if they've got the bus. We got cart keys for the bus. And again, have we talked to everyone to find out if they've got knives, guns, the U.S.
Okay.
Who knows what the hell's going on there?
Well, inventory downstairs, so good chance that we figured all that.
While you were doing that, Chris was speaking to the man behind the counter in the kitchen, and he kind of solemnly explained that he felt guilty for taking pictures of the death and destruction, and he just was disgusted at himself and frightened of the world right now. And doing a bit of a rundown of what kind of stuff there was. There was water, food, enough for a while, a few days at least. And there are weapons like broom handles, things like that.
That's enough.
No guns. No, the church didn't have any guns, unfortunately.
No, but maybe some of the people running into the church did.
No, for sure. But unfortunately, because I don't think Boston's open carry, most of the guns would be at home and things of that nature, and there weren't any cops there. So no, there are not any weapons in that regard. There's a few steak knives in the drawer, but other than that, nothing too.
Some oil lamps.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I guess. Oil lamp.
Well, again, so I'm thinking steak knife on broomstick.
Sure. So you decide to spend a few minutes and fashion kind of a steak knife on broomstick?
But I don't know. I don't know if I would actually. It might be better with just the broomstick.
Okay. And Justin, you're still upstairs, yeah?
Still upstairs, keeping an eye on the mob.
Are any of the mob taking notice of the child? I asked Mike.
Pardon me, sorry, Chris?
Like, does it seem like they're noticing the kid in the van?
It didn't.
So it might
may have, because there was one that stopped the smell and then moved on. So again,
it might be best to leave her there for the present. We probably want to leave her there for the present.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's discuss.
Okay, well, so now we're not getting her. So you just leave me wait up there?
No, I'm saying let's go.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm saying, Chris, let's go up and discuss.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so you have your pole arm of sorts.
Yep.
And you start, the three of you walk upstairs, and you're in the main floor, and you get together and you discuss. What do you say?
It did say in the forecast that it was supposed to rain. I don't know if that would be a good time to go, if that would help or hinder us. If these zombies use smell, then it'll definitely help us. If they use sight, then it'll help us.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, the problem is it's more tricky for us, and then it could be slippery and stuff like that. But
yeah.
But on the positive side, again, we have the opportunity to be more stealthy, so we can move a lot slower.
So as you're sitting here discussing this, you hear another, not as loud, but you hear another, and coming from the opposite direction, a really nice kind of Lambo speeds by, even louder than the bus. And the street, again, the creatures that went back to the I'm just calling them zombies. Zombies that went back to the bar and that were kind of hiding in the graveyard speed out with a reckless abandon and start peeling off towards the sound of the fading car.
Do you guys want to try going now?
That's what I suggest, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Expect the streets to be so busy.
Okay, but again, that's why
I'm sure we look both ways because there's a good chance we'll be hit by something.
Well, I mean, realistically, people all over the world would be trying to get the hell out, and this street is empty because the marathon was empty. So people would be using this as like the primary mode of escape.
And that's what I'm saying. So I still want to go. Same idea.
All right.
So you act on this. So you head out.
Yep, Justin, you stay watch the door because you can't move very quick.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
So
I'll keep it open for you guys. If a zombie comes out,
Chris is coming? No, Chris isn't coming.
Why not?
I'm not letting you get out there.
Ooh, fight!
Does that make sense?
He doesn't
really
want you to come out, man. You can just stand
have your back there, Mike.
I'm probably more useful than Gimpy over here.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's holding the door, but I'm not letting you get out there.
He's not letting you, Chris. He's not letting you.
Sure.
Sure.
I honestly think it makes no sense for both of you guys to go together.
Why wouldn't I go with you?
So you have seconds as the sound is starting to fade.
That's
you have seconds
we're taking
to
our
act.
time. We gotta go. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Who's gonna carry the girl? You are. So I'm gonna watch your back.
Okay. Let's go.
So the two of you burst through the doors onto the open street, and the April air hits you, and you're like, "Oh God, it was so clamoury in there." You know, it was like,
"Such a beautiful day."
And immediately, the scent of the quickly passing car and the gasoline hits you, and you smell the irony, the tinniness of the blood in the air just from the breeze blowing such destruction of humankind, and you kind of get a chill thinking of, oh my God, just like looking on either side of the street, you do see that the zombies that were chasing the car are a fair bit of distance away. But already you can just sense the death. And before you, on the other side of the street, you see the open doors of the bar, and inside is just a wet heat of the piles of organs and bits of sinew that flood the floor of the bar. So you head over to, the graveyard, and you hang out there for a bit and take a nap.
I'm exhausted.
So tell me what happens.
Yeah, well, again, we're basically getting right to the van as fast as we can.
I unlock it with the fob to make sure I don't hit the alarm button.
Mike's got the fob.
Yeah.
Mike unlocks it.
And when we get to the van, I'm like, where did I put the keys?
You didn't ready
I
them.
always forget which pocket I put keys in.
Where did you put the keys?
They would have had to been in my hand the whole time because all I was wearing was running shorts and a t-shirt, right?
Fair enough. Okay, so you... Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Or no, it doesn't beep when it unlocks, just a...
Yeah.
And as you approach the van, you see that it is... The front window is smashed. But not open, just cracked. Like if something heavy hit it.
Yeah.
Which door you open first?
So again, we go to the side door, not the back door.
Okay. So you open the side, and it's one of those shitty new cars where you pull it, and it goes...
Yeah.
And by any means, it is not loud. However, compared to the silence that the street now holds, based on the vacantness, it is relatively... And it might not be loud, it seems loud to you because you're so trying to keep such a low profile that it starts it runs a...
Like, ah!
Yeah, it runs a little chill up your spine just to think, oh my god, I hope no one heard that.
Yeah. Okay, so quickly take a quick look for the girl.
Okay, so you kind of lean in the back and you see a kind of a pile of blankets, and in a dark little corner you see a little eye.
Here, I'm here to help you. I'm going to take you to your father.
And she attacks! No.
Chris, while we're doing this, check in the glove compartment for a gun, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You found one good stuff. It's an Uzi.
I was packing.
Let's say this: blank and negative, it is not there. Plus, it is there.
Yep.
No, there is no gun in the glove compartment.
Yep.
But you're still searching it, and you're climbing the back, and the little girl kind of looks at you with just again.
Well, I wouldn't climb in the back because.
Well, sorry, you.
Yeah, just be like, I've got your father. He's safe.
I got your father. I got your father. He's dead.
I can take you to him. Let's get together. Let's move quick.
Get in the van. I got candy.
Yeah, exactly.
You lift off she lifts off the blanket, and she's maybe a 5-year-old girl, and her eyes are bloodshot with tears, and she kind of starts walking towards you, just absolutely afraid. And you hear a scream from the street behind you. And turning around, you see a man, a large man, standing there staring at you, just screaming.
Excellent.
And he's about to run.
Yep.
And Justin, you're witnessing this whole thing. And you see this 2 minutes, or 50 seconds before that, you see this thing start running back towards the street. And you see it stop. And you see it look at them.
Okay.
And it screams. And it's about to bolt towards them. But before you can do anything, you hear another scream coming from the other side of the street. And you see the father standing there, waving his hands, screaming at the creature.
The father?
The father from the basement. Screaming from the other side of the street.
From the other? Wait, how did he get out? Just the back door? Yeah.
So, he's screaming, and the creature then turns its attention towards him and chases him, and then runs full speed at him.
Okay, where's the father running? Is he just standing there?
He's running down the street towards the starting line.
You're going the wrong way.
Okay, all right. That was
that way.
That was unexpected.
We go.
I stand there. I wait for them. I have a responsibility. I did what I had to do. Father,
Okay.
Like, we do have a van and some keys. I'm just saying.
I know.
Just swing by, pick up stuff, and go. We don't really have a responsibility to these people. We could literally take the van, run over the one chasing the man, pick him up so he's with his daughter, and keep going. Lock the doors behind us.
We could. But again, I think he made a noble sacrifice. Let's get back in there. We can come back to the van. Let's find out if they got a church van and save as many people as we can.
Yeah, we all know what happens when vans drive by or cars drive by.
That's what I'm saying. If we get in the van now, everything's going to turn and chase us again.
Okay.
Although, in fairness, Chris didn't see that.
No, he wouldn't have seen that.
I just saw it with the Lamborghini.
Oh, he did see it with the Lamborghini, yes.
Oh, yeah.
True. I thought you were talking about the
All
man.
Right. Okay, but the man's dead then. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Mike, you pick up the girl.
Yep.
And the two of you turn around, and as you approach the street, you do see more of them running back, and it's a beeline straight for Justin.
Yep.
And you run. And you start running towards the front of the church.
Yep.
And they are hot on your trail. No, they're not. They're still relatively far back. This was a straggler. And you, relatively easy. You run up the stairs, and you get inside, and you shut the door.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I checked the back door right away.
Yep.
So you turn around, and from the direction of the stairs, going downstairs, there's one just standing there, staring at you, and it screams, and it runs towards you.
Okay, so all three of us.
Now the van?
Now what?
Is it now the van?
So
Let's go on back out the door, close the doors, and go.
Well,
it starts running towards you. And as it's running, you see maybe 2 or 3 stumble in the back and start running as well.
Yeah, definitely. I get back in the van, and I said, throw me the keys.
Hold on, you're at the front door of the church. You're not even near the van yet.
What?
Take it easy.
Oh,
you're on the side of the street.
Yeah, for some reason I thought we jumped the van.
No, Arlen said we're back in the church now.
All right,
oh, yeah. You're back in the church. The door's shut behind you because you just got into it.
Right.
So these are running towards you. And you kind of see them filling up. Now you still have distance there. I'm just explaining what's happening. So you also hear a rumbling outside. Shit. As something heavy is coming from the direction that the Lamborghini drove in. So now you can choose what you want to do.
Okay, so I quickly, before they choose, hand Chris the girl, then run towards the creature.
Okay, so you run towards the creature.
I dropped the girl.
How many zombies are there?
Yeah, okay.
It's 1, and there's 2 more at the back door coming towards you.
Oh, wow. It's only 1 and the 2 more. Okay, so there's 3.
Don't forget the keys.
Okay, well, okay, so Mike's running at them. I'm going to take the girl and try to get to a safe corner. Like, are they all coming down the same way?
Yeah, they're all coming from the back door, which the father left open.
You're going to take the girl from me?
Yeah, I'll take
not
the
the
girl.
poppy thing.
Okay.
Leaving the door open?
Is there but are they like where the pews are? Are there like 2 rows of pews, classic church, and they can get down the middle, or?
Yeah, they're running down the center aisle towards you guys.
Okay, so I'm going to
I'll have to let him know to come back later then.
get the girl in the corner.
Yeah.
And I've got one of those candlesticks.
Now, again, just because you would be aware of this, the street is still, while they are running at you, they're not crowding the door back to the street.
Right, yeah. Well, I was thinking that it might make sense to just get out the door and let them chase after the big van, whatever it is, if they do. Okay, so I open the door then.
Okay. And you see the street, and you hear the rumbling of the van approaching, or the vehicle.
Okay, and I shout to Chris and Mike, and I say, "Get out here! We're not pinned out here."
And Mike, what do you do?
So what have I done thus far?
Well, you started running towards the creature.
Yeah.
Which you can easily change your mind at, because I'm going to say you half-heartedly did it. Because you would be more aware of the fact that you're not backed into a corner yet.
Yep.
Besides, that's not how you would fight anyways. You don't just run at things.
Yeah, I think you would have been more like, all right, come at me, bitch.
That's not the strategy I was going with.
Self-sacrifice.
No, it wasn't.
Tackle it?
wasn't planning to be a sacrifice, but it was a time giver. All right, I will see if I can. I know these things can outrun me, though.
True.
That's what I'm saying. So
They
I
might
would
chase
yell, just get the hell out, go. And I would probably go at it, and once I was like there, try to push kick it right through the chest to give me distance. See if I can push it down the stairs, and then chase after them.
Down with all the other survivors.
That's what I'm doing. That wasn't really my plan, but
All right, that's what you want to do?
but no, I wanted to see if whatever. I just gotta get them out.
Well, they're leaving. There doesn't seem to be any obstacle between leaving this.
Well, then I will try to go.
Okay.
Like, that's what you're saying. If I've got that moment to go, like, yeah, they're making it.
You have that moment.
Then I've
You
got
take
that
a few
moment.
steps forward and you turn around and realize that the sacrifice would most likely be in vain.
Yeah. Then I would go. Yeah.
Okay. So then you turn and the three of you head out.
And close the door.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Go.
how's it supposed to chase you?
Yeah, we could go.
So you hear gunfire as you look to the direction of the sound of the gunfire, as well as the running vehicles, and what you see are military-style pickup trucks, almost. Those canvas ones.
Yep.
With people leaning out the side, shooting creatures as they come running at the van. Barbed wire laying across the front as the rage-filled monsters are running at the van and being impaled by them. And
Canadians killed by friendly fire.
drawing the sound of the gunfire is drawing the zombies into the slaughter as they just continue firing.
Let's open the doors behind us. So we hide behind the doors. Seriously, I say get on the other side of the door, and I open it so that the zombies are going to run out towards the sound.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no room behind it because it's kind of a wrought iron right behind it, but you can hop down and figure out a way to open it, or you just leave it open or whatever you want.
Yeah, just leave it open, and hopefully they will run towards the sound.
Okay, so you kind of hop over, and they come pouring out the doors, and they do as the convoy kind of enters the main area. Everything is just flying out of the church, including the now bitten pastor and the old man with the camera, and everyone who was in the basement just flying out into the to the onslaught of the passing military vehicles. Just, and as you see the convoy passing you, the barbed wire and the spikes on either side of the van, again, very haphazardly done because they've had hours to do this. The convoy exists maybe for 4 or 5 things. And as the last convoy kind of comes, it's a smaller one, you see the slew of dead just left behind in their wake. And let me see.
We take cover.
Them. Let's get in on that convoy. Let's just drive our van,
Merge
merge in between them.
Let's chase them.
Yeah. We'll go behind with the van with the windows rolled down with our candlesticks whacking.
Okay, so you run it on the street and kind of wave.
No, we definitely don't. We get shot.
No, we still head towards the van.
We might call to them and say, help us!
Okay.
No. If everybody's chasing out after them, why don't we get in the van and
That's what I'm saying. Is
all of
let's
them
go because we can get in the van and then chase them.
Yeah, good call.
Okay. So you wait till the convoy passes, and you start hearing scream. Well, no, that's a little too unfair. Okay, so you head across the street back to the van, and you decide to try to start up the van. And the little girl's asking, where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? Because you told her that that he was going to be okay. And what do you say to her?
And I said, well, we're going to see if we can find him. Unfortunately, he didn't eat his vegetables and he didn't listen.
You told a lie.
No, I don't say that. Your dad was eaten by zombies because he didn't eat his vegetables.
Oh my God, okay. That's the worst thing ever.
No, we have to find them.
Yeah. So you get in the van and it starts up. Now the front window is cracked, so it's very tough to see. But you follow the convoy?
Yep.
Okay. So
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's follow the convoy.
You go off behind them, and you end up catching up to them, and they're still firing off to the sides. And what happens is, as you're approaching the back of the convoy, the back car stops and kind of waits for you, and as you wheel up to it.
Yeah, let's drive right up.
So a masked man in kind of like almost like a gas mask, kind of, as well as two others, get off the back of the thing, and they kind of wave you out of the vehicle.
Let's go.
Yeah,
but who's ever in the back, grab some blankets as we go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys get out, and the little girl kind of in your arm, kind of crying. And do you say anything, or you just walk towards them, or what?
Say, we have not been bitten. We've not been scratched. We've not come in contact with them at all. Please help us.
Okay, so the one guy who kind of has a gun, he puts it down on his chest, does one of these. And the other two guys kind of do these too, and they're like, yeah. And they kind of wave you towards them.
Okay.
And you approach?
Yep.
Perfect. And then they grab these guns from the back, and they shoot you.
Nice.
And you're dead.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding. They do shoot you, though.
Because I'm glad they took the time to take the rifles off us and shoot us with handguns.
Well, because as the dart hits you, you guys kind of just feel it instantly and just crumble into a pile. So, now, I have a little more. I have more to this adventure. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys if you want to stop there or finish this off.
I think we stop there. I think that's a lovely cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that okay with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy we survived this long.
Or did you?
No, maybe not. Maybe we're being fed to the zombies.
Or maybe we were just given a vaccine.
Or maybe it was that easy. Just shoot everything else, but give the vaccine to the guys. No. Okay, excellent. Then we're going to stop there. We may or may not finish this one because I think that's a fair point to kind of end it at. So if you will, if you'd like to know the ending and we end up not playing this again, I'd happily send you kind of the little bit that ends this. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like we said, today is International Tabletop Day, so please go out tonight and play some board games or role-playing games, or if you have no one to play with, you can play computer games.
Sometimes I play spin the bottle with myself.
I know, and you go to fifth base every time.
Every time. Who's getting lucky tonight?
So, yes, thank you so much for watching. Please follow us on Twitter. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube. And was there anything else I wanted to go over with? Is there anything else you guys had to say?
Thanks for watching. I
would love, because we're starting the Numenera campaign, if anybody out there wants to tweet us some great ideas for some of the Numenera that's in the game, it would be great to have some of that. Some ciphers would be ideal. So if you have these one-off little trinket ideas that would be really neat to see in the game, I would love to hear them, and hopefully I can incorporate them into the party's discoveries. So feel free to send that to us, and I will most likely use them.
Sure. That's a good idea.
Or experience.
Yes, and actually on the experience, if you guys have any ideas of how you'd like to spend the experience, you can tweet it to us. Like we said, we give experience for different people for watching. Oh, by the way, experience for today.
Right. Yes, Jesper was watching for a great majority. We have a ton of great comments on the video itself from Gabe, I believe it was. I don't have. Yes, Gabe. So, Gabe, if you enjoyed the game and you're looking to watch again in the future, I would say, based on the amount of successful advice you've given them, let's say, well, this game doesn't really do experience points, but what I will say is that Gabe, Yester, Gabe and Yester, you guys are watching. So if we do continue this, I will have a special little option for you to do in the second part of this.
But I mean,
so if you want to see me naked, press share.
We can do like an Invictus experience. So anything used in the Dragon Age campaign.
Yeah, that's a better. But how do you want to?
We need a standardized point system.
We do. Yeah.
We'll work on that. We'll let you know.
Let's say this. For 100 points each. We'll do 200 experience for Yester and Gabe.
There you go.
So you guys have 200 experience points that will be applied at a later date.
All at one place.
What's that?
Don't spend them all at once.
Yeah, don't you spend them all in one place. Don't ruin your appetite. Yeah, but so we'll say 200 experience points for each of you guys, and just remember that and tweet us and say this is how many experience points I have, because later on, maybe during the Numenera campaign, we will use it to hopefully the advantage of the players, not the disadvantage of the players.
Ooh.
Excellent. Again, thank you so much for watching. It is International Tabletop Day. Go out and play some games. I was going to say my name has been Harlan Guthrie. Thank you and good night. But that's not really anything I have to say, and it's not the night. So, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.